Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. The End of the World, Reviving Humanity. Many Children and Many Blessings. Chapter 41. Late at night, Bo Yueling was suddenly awakened from her sleep. Long night. 30 minutes later, Chen Chu lit up Farong King. The white smoke he exhaled covered his handsome face, making him look a little melancholy. Husband, it seems a little better than during the day. Bo Yueling pinched her thumb and index finger together, making a little bit gesture. Chen Chu turned his head in the smoke, and a tear streaked from the corner of his eye. Apparently he swallowed the Tao-shaping fruit, and his physical strength increased significantly. Even the endurance has been increased by 30%. How could this happen? It's completely unreasonable. He carefully reviewed the battle process just now. It's not that he's getting weaker. The opponent has become stronger. What kind of physique is this? It's too cruel. Chen Chu cursed secretly. Is this the power of an S-level physique? Because he didn't know the specific name of Bo Yueling's physique, Chen Chu simply named her based on her talent. The number of superpowers has increased a bit more than before. As Bo Yueling's physique matures and evolves, he has gained more and more benefits. Husband, just teach me the 36 methods of Deep Palace. Chen Chu was heartbroken. Put out the cigarette butt casually. Big hand wave. Come on, I'll fight you. 10 minutes later. In the wedding room where red blessings are hung everywhere, Chen Chu once again ignited King Farong. Wow, husband, these 36 techniques in the Deep Palace are really powerful. Although there is so much less time, my abilities have increased even more. And I feel better. I feel that in another month, I will be able to break through to the mid-7th level. Bo Yueling's eyes were full of stars. The skills taught by my husband are so powerful. The cigarette in Chen Chu's hand fell hard to the ground. My energy must have been severely damaged during the day. Chen Chu comforted himself in his heart. Husband, can we practice again? Bo Yueling leaned close to Chen Chu's ear and breathed out the fragrance. Chen Chu stood up alone. I'm not in good condition today. I'll kill you someday. After speaking, he broke out the door. He quickly walked to the room of his 9th wife, Xingyu. Husband, it's getting more and more delicious. Looking at Chen Chu's leaving figure, Bo Yueling couldn't help but lick her lips. On the other side, the little beauty Xingyu suddenly suffered an indiscriminate disaster. I didn't fall asleep until midnight. Now I don't fall asleep until dawn again. Walk out of Xingyu's room. Chen Chu, who hadn't slept all night, breathed out a long and refreshed breath. Sure enough, this is the real self, a man who stands up to the sky. The body has been improved many times, the supernatural power has been constantly broken through, and he has also swallowed the fruit of shaping the Tao. The 3-hour self is the normal self. That which, Chen Chu was angrily thinking of Bo Yueling. Sooner or later, he wants to let the witch know what a real man is. Mr. Chen, the city lord asked me to call you. When Chen Chu walked to the living room, he found that Rianlu had been waiting here for a long time. Dad, are you looking for me? Chen Chu rolled his eyes. Dad usually would not miss him, there must be something important. So he didn't delay, and immediately went out, towards the city lord's mansion. Lu Rian followed him, her ears red. She waited in the living room for a long time. My ears are numb from hearing it. She quietly glanced at Chen Chu's broad shoulders in front of him and the graceful way he walked. His face was red. Can it really take so long? That's not what the book says. It's so scary. Can I hold on? I'll ask Sister Lan later. City Lord's mansion. Ha ha ha, brat, are you finally willing to step out of the house? As soon as Chen Chu stepped into the threshold, he heard Chen Lei's bold voice. As soon as he raised his head, Chen Lei came to him, followed by Jiang Qing Shui. You boy, work harder and give birth to more good grandchildren like Hanner to inherit the family business. Chen Lei stretched out his big hand and patted Chen Chu on the shoulder. My son is really getting more and more decent. Not only did he give birth to a bunch of talented grandchildren, but he also continued to flourish. Moreover, you also have to take responsibility as a human being. Every wife and concubine was not neglected. Jiang Qing Shui stood aside, listening to Lei Huhu's continuous praise of Chen Chu. The corners of his mouth couldn't help but twitch. I complained in my heart, is he responsible? He is just a lustful person. A lecher. Come on, brat, Since you have a family and a career, Spark City will be handed over to you sooner or later. From now on, you will be involved in all major events in Spark City. Quote. Chen Chu's heart moved. This is good. Only by understanding everything about Spark City can he make better use of his own strength to develop. And I can also take this opportunity today to reveal my strength to my father. He has obtained all the warheads made of the infinite stone. Combined with gun skills, he can now reveal the strength of B-level 6th level superpowers. Dad, what's going on? Chen Chu started the topic. Chen Lei stretched out his hand. Jiang Qing Shui gently pushed his glasses with his index finger. There's been something amiss in Corpse King City, which is 300 miles away from Zhonghai City. If something happens to the Corpse King City, our family will suffer a devastating disaster. Corpse King City. Chen Chu has lived in Zhonghai City for 20 years and knows the famous Corpse King City. Before the end of the world, it was the second-ranked city in Province C, formerly known as Haiban City. But because of the coming of the glacier apocalypse, zombies broke out. The entire city fell and was occupied by the Corpse King. It was full of zombies, millions of them in number, and not a single living creature. Over time, the survivors called it the City of the Corpse King. Because the Corpse King has a strong sense of territory, the zombies will not leave the Corpse King's city for more than 10 miles over the years. But now I am suddenly restless. If something goes wrong, the two nearest large cities, Fire City and Spark City, are about to suffer. What is the rank of Corpse King? Chen Chu asked. Humans are no longer the lambs they once were. In the last days, strength is greater than anything else. Countless strong men have risen. As for zombies and monsters, you can give them a try. Chen Lei held a cigar in his mouth and his voice was rare and cautious. 20 years ago, it was already the 8th level. Everyone was silent. 20 years ago, it was level 8, and now. Jiang Qing Shui was right. If there was a riot in Corpse King City, it would be a disaster for both Liehuo City and Spark City. The atmosphere seemed a bit heavy. Chen Lei laughed twice. Although this Corpse King is powerful, the crystal core in his brain is also a good thing. If I can get it, I might be able to advance to the 9th level. And although there are many zombies, they can also produce many zombie nuclei. This Corpse King City is a bomb, but it is also a huge treasure. Jiang Qing Shui nodded. My sister sent me here just to strengthen cooperation between our two cities. Agni City will help Spark City build underground fortifications and interconnect technology. In short, the Corpse King must overcome this difficulty. It's a crisis, but it's also a huge opportunity. Zombie crystal cores are of great use to those with superpowers. It can increase abilities and assist skill training. Among superpowers, zombie crystal cores have even become currency. There are millions of zombies in the Corpse King City, and there is even a Corpse King who has surpassed the 8th level. The entire Corpse King City is a shining giant treasure. But no one dared to take this treasure. Let's not talk about the powerful Corpse King. Those millions of zombies make one's scalp numb just thinking about them. Therefore, the superpowers usually stay away from the Corpse King City. But now, Corpse King City is inexplicably restless. The Fire City and Spark City were the first to bear the brunt and had to pay attention. Are you sure? Chen Chu asked. If you are not sure, it is better to prepare to run away first. He has space powers and can ensure the safety of his family. But Spark City is, after all, the lifelong effort of his father and mother. Chen Lei grinned. Agni City recently unearthed a warehouse of different types of heavy machine guns and artillery shells. One side of the Corpse King City is backed by a mountain. We plan to use Earth-type superpowers to create a pass in front of it, leaving only one exit. The low-level superpowers will guard the gate with heavy machine guns, and we will surround and kill the Zombie King. If we capture the Corpse King City, the entire Province C will be ours. Very adventurous. Chen Chu frowned slightly. Millions of ordinary zombies, if you are willing, just like Dad said, you can use the terrain to minimize their danger. But the important thing is the Corpse King. People with superpowers, after the 7th level, can reach the sky step by step. Every upgrade is a transformation of 10 times more strength. And it's not as simple as multiplying by 10. A nearly 10-fold increase in power can cause a powerful transformation in the strength of a superpower. An 8th level strong man using all his strength can cope with dozens of 7th level superpowers. The subsequent level gap can also be deduced in the same way. If the Corpse King is really promoted to the 9th level, then the difficulty of the entire plan skyrocketed. Is the problem in Corpse King City urgent? Let's run away first. This is what Chen Chu really thinks. He has the system of having many sons and many blessings. If you marry well and have children, live in peace and contentment, and continue to marry and have children, you will achieve the highest level. There is absolutely no need to take such risks. Chen Lei smiled and said extremely terrifying words. Other giant cities in Province C are watching us. If we completely relocate, they will intercept and kill us. As soon as these words came out, Chen Chu's brows deepened. This is a dead end. But no matter how dangerous it is, he can use his space powers to take good care of his family. We suspect that the restlessness in the Corpse King City is caused by other giant cities. Jiang Qing Shui's tone was cold. Why do other giant cities attack Fire City and Spark City when they are in good condition? Jiang Qing Shui took a deep look at Chen Chu. Our two families have cooperated too much recently. My sister and your father are both well-known strong men. If we cooperate more deeply in the future, the entire Province C will not be able to accommodate them. Looking at Jiang Qing Shui's appearance, Chen Chu recalled some recent rumors. When Xingwo City officially develops into a giant city, he and Jiang Qing Shui will get married. Chen Lei scratched his head and said with a grin. This is not necessarily the reason. The restlessness in Corpse King City may also be due to another factor. Corpse King is about to break through the 9th level. He needs a lot of flesh and blood now. Quote, Chen Lei showed his fangs. If it is the second reason, this means that the Corpse King has not actually been promoted to the 9th level. Then if he and Zhang Fenju, two 8th level powerhouses, join forces, they will definitely win. As for the time left for us, there is at least 1 year. For details, we have to go to the vicinity of Corpse King City to investigate in person. Chen Lei said while touching his chin. At least 1 year. Chen Chu grasped the key point. If nothing else happens, he will have a new heir born a year later. He will also usher in a group of strong increases. At that time, even if the Corpse King really breaks through to the 9th level, he will not be afraid. What's more, he has the guarantee of space power. If he can't beat him, he will run away with his family in the worst case. An attack is imminent in Corpse King City. If the whole city fled, they would be frightened by other giant cities. Chen Chu carefully considered the pros and cons of the two options. Gambling Corpse King City. If the bet wins, a large number of zombie crystal cores and Corpse King crystal cores can be obtained, and the entire province of C will be directly in the bag, and they can settle accounts with the giant city that is in trouble now. If you lose the bet, the big deal is that Chen Chu used the space system ability to run away with his family. Chen Chu calculated the inside and outside, and it was a good deal. And there is still more time left for myself, and my strength can improve by leaps and bounds during this time. Within this year, we will build a low channel between Raging Fire City and Star Fire City. In addition, the focus of the two cities is also on building underground defenses. Jiang Qing Shui pushed his glasses. Fortifications. Chen Chu's eyes lit up immediately upon hearing this word. Yes, my own villa is a rare quality refuge that can defend against 10th order creatures. The safety issues of the family members are directly resolved. Done. Chen Chu raised his hand in agreement. No worries and lightweight. Even if the Corpse King breaks through the 9th level and breaks through the Starfire City. But as long as he enters the range of his refuge, he will also be killed. Fortunately, I have a whole card. Chen Lei attached great importance to his son's words. Chen Lei laughed loudly and said, Don't worry, son, your father, I have a premonition that I will break through again recently, maybe I will break through before the Corpse King. Chen Chu looked at his father and said, I want to join this plan. Without waiting for Chen Lei to refuse, he immediately said that he had obtained the Infinity Stone and made it into a warhead. You are saying that you are now equivalent to AB level 6th order ability user. Chen Lei had a pleasant expression on his face. He trusted his son very much. Chen Chu nodded, and took out the pistol he carried with him from his back waist. Vase. He casually moved back to the blind spot, and the vase shattered. Chen Lei used lightning to pull the warhead into his hands. Sure enough, this bullet restricts the ability user. It's true, boy, you really have the strength of AB level 6th order superhuman. Chen Lei's old face flushed with a smile, very excited. On the other hand, Jiang Qing Shui's expression was extremely shocked. This pervert, isn't he an ordinary person like himself? Why do you now have the strength of AB level 6th order ability user? And seeing Lei Huo happy like that, it's definitely not fake. Jiang Qing Shui couldn't believe it. Now, only you are left as a waste. She felt inexplicably wronged. Good boy, I'm going to lead a team to investigate the real situation around the Corpse King City in a few days, so you can go with me when the time comes. The 6th level strength of B level is top-notch in any supernatural team in Province C. On this trip, we will empty out some of Hu Zhengge's material warehouses, and find some extraordinary items to improve our strength. Chen Lei said the plan. Enhance Daddy's strength. Chen Chu's heart skipped a beat. Father, have you swallowed Lei Guo? That thunder fruit can increase the strength of the lightning type ability user, and there is a 1 in 100,000 chance to upgrade the ability. Chen Lei slapped his head with a big hand. During this time, I've been eating your kid's table every day. After speaking, he immediately took out the pomegranate sent by Chen Chu from the drawer and swallowed it. In an instant, countless tiny thunder snakes erupted from his body, lingering around his body. Boom! A shock of thunder came from within Chen Lei's body. Afterwards, Chen Lei's prestige became even more astonishing, and the surrounding thunder snakes became stronger and more flexible. A moment later, lightning converges. Chen Lei opened his eyes. He grinned. The ability seems to have broken through to S level. Jiang Qing Shui. Ha! Chen Lei. Ha! Isn't Lei Guo only 1 in 100,000 chance to improve his abilities? Dad can do this. Perhaps the system heard Chen Chu's question. A line of hints lit up in front of his eyes. Chen Lei, 52 years old, ability, S level, potential, SS, strength, mid-8th level. Dad's potential is SS. No wonder. The last time Dad swallowed the Thunderstone fruit, he not only upgraded the ability level from a level to A+, but also added special effects to the ability. And now, there is a 1 in -100,000 chance that Dad will trigger it again. The A+ ability successfully broke through and reached S. And all of this, under the potential of Dad SS, everything becomes reasonable. It's no wonder that Dad was able to get a bad name as a Thunder Tiger with his A-level ability before. At this time, Jiang Qing Shui no longer had the high cold image he had maintained for a long time. Her eyes widened, and her cherry mouth was wide enough to hold a fist. Although Raging Fire City and Starfire City are in a cooperative relationship. But Jiang Qing Shui always thought it was his sister Nian Chen Chu's mother's old love. Although it is cooperation on the surface, it is actually assistance. Subconsciously, she always had a sense of looking down on Xingwo City. But now, Chen Lei's ability level has been promoted to S. She is only 1 grade away from her own sister. But don't forget, Chen Lei's lightning ability also comes with special effects. That alone more than makes up for the small rank. Chen Lei is now on an equal footing with his sister in the true sense. And, she took a hard look at Chen Chu. Chen Chu's sharpshooting skill with no misses in one hand, coupled with the Infinity Stone warhead. His strength is equivalent to that of AB level 6th order supernatural power user. But he is still an ordinary person. At first, I didn't like Chen Chu, but now, from the outside world, she is the one who admires her. Jiang Qing Shui resisted the look of being lost. After congratulating Chen Lei, he made excuses to leave. And when she was about to step out of the threshold, a figure in a white coat rushed in waving the paper in his hand. Sister Lan, you can talk later. Chen Chu supported Su Lan who was out of breath. Chu, City Lord, Xingyu is pregnant. Chu, you are going to have your 10th child. Su Lan was relieved. Moreover, I felt the fluctuation of the fetus, supernatural energy, and the 10th child is also a supernatural person. Su Lan stood up straight and handed the test paper to Chen Chu. Wife 9. The foreign girl Xingyu is pregnant. Chen Chu carefully recalled his recent life. Xingyu is the one who accompanies me the most, and it's normal to have one. And according to the report, Xingyu has been pregnant for more than half a month. It means that the seeds were successfully sown on the wedding night with Xingyu. It's another shot into the soul. Ha ha ha, okay, I'm going to have 10 supernatural grandchildren. Chen Lei laughed boldly. This good thing happened one after another. Chen Chu has the strength comparable to AB level 6th order supernatural being. The ability level of oneself is raised to S. Now there is a 10th supernatural grandson. Sure enough, after the brat started marrying a wife and having children, everything became extremely smooth. Chen Lei looked at his son with satisfaction. Now that I have just married 18 wives, so many good things have come. I must work hard to conquer the territory and conquer the world. Give the brat a concubine with hundreds or thousands of doors. Let the stinky boy enjoy a lifetime of happiness and have no worries about food and clothing. And Jiang Qing Shui at the door looked at the three happily. Almost lost my footing. What did she just hear? Chen Chu has 10 supernatural offspring. How can it be? Before, I only heard that Chen Chu had 18 concubines, but I never heard that he had 10 heirs with supernatural powers. The three news that came one after another smashed Jiang Qing Shui's only self-esteem into powder. She took a deep look at Chen Chu, showing a forced smile. Stepping out the door alone, Chen Chu looked at her wandering figure, with an intriguing smile on the corner of his mouth. As a human being in two lives, he could see Jiang Qing Shui's loneliness at a glance. Jiang Qing Shui is beautiful, has a good figure, a good family background, and has the body of an angel with a hidden talent of SS rank. She is definitely the best candidate for his wife and concubine. But she is too proud. Chen Chu knew from the first time the two met. In her heart, she is a dandy and a pervert, and she always looks down on her. If you follow the normal script, with his status as the Prince of Spark City and the relationship between the two families, as long as he expresses his interest in Jiang Qing Shui and launches an offensive, then there is definitely a 99% chance of winning. But Chen Chu is not a boiling sheep, a two-faced turtle, a tom, or a black tiger. Licking a dog is the worst possible death. What he wanted was to crush Jiang Qing Shui's pride. Only in this way can she surrender to herself wholeheartedly. Otherwise, what if you get married and go home? Chen Chu had no intention of becoming Wu Delang. Human beings have always been strong-willed. Since ancient times, the strong have occupied more survival resources, more living space, and more mating opportunities. This has become even more serious in the last days. Now Dad and Zhang Fenju are evenly matched. He has shown to the outside world that he is at the 6th level of B level. He has 18 supernatural wives and 10 supernatural children. As for Jiang Qing Shui, her hidden talent has not yet been awakened. She is still an ordinary person. Just a slightly competent ordinary person, that's all. Chen Chu took one last look at Jiang Qing Shui's figure. Be confident. Mock up. Jiang Qing Shui has been in Spark City for the past year. He had plenty of opportunities to crush her pride time and time again. Chen Chu never claims to be a good person. But when it comes to emotional matters, he wants to give the other person the utmost respect and care. I have 18 wives. Isn't that one completely devoted to me and deeply in love with me? So even Jiang Qing Shui is no exception. You can't escape my grasp. Put Jiang Qing Shui aside for now. Chen Chu bid farewell to his father. Follow Su Lan to the medical department to visit Xingyu. Thinking of his sweet and beautiful ninth wife Xingyu, Chen Chu felt very good. 18 His wife, the little succubus Yueling, hurts his self-esteem all day long. Preparing his wife Jiang Qing Shui is not a worry. Xiao Xingyu, the sweet sister of 9 wives, is the happiest. As the old saying goes, everything can be discarded, but a soft and sweet girl cannot be discarded. Thinking like this, Chen Chu's steps became brisker. Su Lan, who was traveling with him, was completely confused at this time. She also just learned that Chen Chu now actually has the strength of AB level 6th level superpower. She was extremely happy and at the same time, she was also a little worried. As soon as this year ends, I will be 30 years old. And Chen Chu is young and promising, and has no shortage of beautiful wives. Own. Su Lan pursed her lips and thought of asking the city lord if he had recruited any new medical superpowers anyway. If not, then you must convince the city lord to recruit. At 30 years old, she really couldn't wait any longer. Women have always been very concerned about their age. Xingyu, Chen Chu said in surprise. Unknowingly, the two of them had reached the medical department. Husband, Xingyu showed her cute little tiger teeth and was equally surprised. After this period of getting along, her love for Chen Chu became deeper and deeper. I wish I could spend every moment with Chen Chu. And the child who just learned that she has a husband is also a superpower. She almost fainted with joy. But after being happy, she was a little confused because she couldn't be with her husband for the next 10 months. Her little head rested on Chen Chu's chest. Husband, Xingyu can't take care of you anymore. Chen Chu gently scratched her little nose and said with a smile. Little fool. Xingyu looked up at Chen Chu. My husband is so powerful, my sisters will probably get pregnant soon. How uncomfortable will it be for my husband to have no concubine to accompany him? Husband, hurry up and prepare to take a concubine again. Look at Xingyu's serious look. Chen Chu knew that it must be his wife Yi Miao who taught him. Nowadays, Chen Chu takes wives and concubines. Before the wedding, his wife Yi Miao will teach him the rules and service methods. In addition, Chen Chu loved them very much, so the harem was harmonious. Of course, except for the little succubus Yueling. She is full of rebellion. Chen Chu would have to whip her hard every day before she would stop. I'll deal with you when my powers reach the 7th level and my overall strength reaches the 8th level. Thinking of Yueling, Chen Chu clenched his fists. Now that my skills are inferior to others, let her be arrogant first. We'll talk about the concubinage later. I'd better take care of your other sisters first. Chen Chu pinched Xingyu's soft and cute face. I have taken 10 concubines this time, but now only Xiao Xingyu is pregnant. After a while, he and his father will set off for the Corpse King City, so he should work harder. As for the first 8 wives and concubines, Chen Chu found that after they became pregnant with their first child, the success rate of their second child plummeted. Of course, it is also possible that the number of concubines increased. The number of rains and dews in Chen Chu is lower on average. But since they have already given birth to a child with themselves, then Chen Chu didn't force it. The main focus is still on Shina's other 9 concubines. The new concubine not only has a better hit rate. Moreover, the new concubine has better talents. There is a high probability of giving birth to children with better talents. Chen Chu can also receive higher quality rewards. After all, there is such a big boss hanging over your head in the Corpse King City, so you need to increase your strength quickly. Oh, my husband, you may meet someone you like on the way out of the city with your father this time. Xingyu said coquettishly, shaking Chen Chu's arm. Besides, I think Sister Su Lan is very good. Xingyu came close to Chen Chu's ear like a clever little girl. Chen Chu raised his eyes and looked at Su Lan, who was in a daze. He knew that the day when he could eat Sister Lan was not far away. You little clever guy. Chen Chu scratched Xingyu's little nose with his finger. After the two said goodbye to Su Lan, you and I took a long walk back to the villa. Xingyu is pregnant and should not stay outside for a long time. She needs to rest. And not long after Chen Chu returned home, Dad's guards came to inform him that they would leave for the Corpse King City in a month. This time the journey is far away and there are many things that need to be prepared. And within this month, Chen Chu works hard every day to sow seeds with his concubines. And he challenges the little succubus Yueling every day. Happy days flash by in the blink of an eye. In a blink of an eye, it was time to leave the Corpse King City. Husband, you must be careful in everything and stay with your father. Yi Miao held Chen Chu's hand and warned her intimately. Chen Chu nodded. Don't worry, I will do it. Although he now has 18 wives and concubines. But when it comes to having the deepest relationship, it is his wife Yi Miao. Husband, Xingyu will miss you. Xingyu's watery blue eyes were slightly red. After all, she was already 2 months pregnant and her belly was already slightly bulging. Husband, we are waiting for your return. The other 16 concubines all said goodbye to Chen Chu. The time they got married to Chen Chu was the happiest time they had ever had in their lives. Now that we suddenly have to be separated for a while, I feel very sad. Chen Chu turned his head and looked at his concubine, with a smile on his lips. In the past month, all of his new concubines have become pregnant one after another. Among the 10 new concubines, except for Yueling, the other 9 are pregnant. Before the complete riot in the Corpse King City, he will have 9 heirs. Thinking of this, he felt extremely comfortable. The hard work I put in for more than 10 hours a day during this period was not in vain. However, Yueling, who worked the most with him, did not move at all. Chen Chu looked at Yueling. Yueling provocatively straightened up her mature figure, which was about to explode. It seems to be saying, "Grandma is waiting for you." Chen Chu frowned wildly. Then he turned around and kissed Yi Miao and Xingyu. Then walked towards the gate of the city. "Dad, when I grow up, I want to join you and Grandpa in building turf." Chen Han beside Yi Miao shouted loudly. Chen Chu didn't look back, and turned his back to him coolly and stretched out his curved little finger, which meant, "A word is settled." The 17 concubines watched Chen Chu leave. But Yueling disappeared early. She knew that Chen Chu was a guy who pretended to be a pig and eat a tiger. What B-level 6th order strength? Maybe Papa Lehuo can't beat him. Maybe even the Corpse King is no match. She knew that Chen Chu took the initiative to leave the city because he must have something of his own to do. "Husband, I'm waiting for you to take care of me when you come back." She licked her lips. For the past month, Chen Chu and I have been practicing the 36 Deep Palace Dharma every day. She also understood how powerful her physique was. Her strength has now reached the early 7th level. There is only one step left to enter the middle stage of 7th level. She expected Chen Chu to improve in strength and kill her. The feeling of being killed must be really good. 300 kilometers. This is the farthest distance Chen Chu has traveled since traveling through the apocalypse. Now Chen Lei's strength has greatly increased. After the expansion of Spark City, some good players were added to the superpower team. Moreover, Liehuo City helped Spark City remodel Hu Zhengge's truck. Therefore, the speed of this trip has greatly increased. In less than a month, the entire superpower team had camped 30 miles away from the Corpse King City. This was something that would have been unimaginable for Spark City 3 years ago. "You brat, take a break. I'll take you to the Corpse King City to see and practice your skills." Dad came over with a cigar in his mouth. Chen Chu's body can withstand extremely cold temperatures of 150 degrees. Coupled with the spear skill that can kill B-level and 6th level superpowers, there is absolutely no need to be as cautious as before. Okay, Chen Chu nodded. He also wanted to visit the legendary Corpse King and see if he could find any good things. "Young Master Chen, food." Lu Ruyan came quickly on the snowboard from a short distance with supplies. Along the way, she was still Chen Chu's personal guard. After all, although Chen Chu is powerful, his character is an ADC. Dad very thoughtfully arranged for Lu Ruyan, a fire-type psychic who combines offense and defense. Roar, sudden, 5 meters in front of Lu Ruyan. Suddenly a tall gray figure as tall as a hill stood up from the white snow and quickly rushed towards Lu Ruyan. Elite zombie. Lu Ruyan's pupils shrank. Elite zombies are roughly equivalent to level 5 to level 6 superpowers. And this elite zombie in front of me. Judging from the figure, it is obvious that he is a giant elite zombie with super strong defense and attack power. The strength of the 6th level. Lu Ruyan panicked. Her strength is only at the late 5th level. Escape. Long years of combat experience gave her a choice in an instant. Just avoid the first hit yourself. The boss, who is an 8th level strongman, will rush over immediately and eliminate him. Boom, lightning and flint. In the misty snow, a crisp gunshot sounded. The giant elite zombie known for its strength and defense now had a black hole on its forehead and then fell to the ground. Killed by. Lu Ruyan froze on the spot holding the food. She looked up. I happened to see Chen Chu collecting the loot. What happened? My young master killed a giant elite zombie with one shot. Lu Ruyan was not the only one who was stunned. After the giant elite zombie fell, the entire supernatural team, 20 supernatural beings, all opened their mouths. Giant elite zombie. Master Chen can kill it with one shot. A newly joined mid-6th level water-type power user swallowed the food that was choked in his mouth with difficulty. At the same time, his eyes widened. He is one of the top 5 offensive players in the team. He also knew about Chen Chu's special strength before. But I didn't care much. It can kill up to B-level and 6th level superpowers. He thought at the time. Chen Chu is an ordinary person. Physical strength, thinking, and agility are simply unable to keep up with the supernatural being. At most, under Chen Lei's protection, he could barely grind to death a B-level 6th level supernatural being with long-range shooting. But the scene just now was really shocking. From drawing the gun to shooting, Chen Chu never took more than half a second, or even shorter. He knew very well that even he couldn't dodge this kind of attack at all. But the most shocking thing is Chen Chu's attack power. Not only him, but all the supernatural beings in Starfire City believed that Chen Chu's so-called B-level 6th level strength was to use long-range shooting to grind opponents to death. It's not a one-hit kill right in front of you. Kill the 6th level superpower in one blow. Even among the 7th order powerhouses, not many can do this. Is this an ordinary person? All the team members had this question in their minds at the same time. Originally thought that the boss Chen Lei was trying to save face, so he talked about Chen Chu's strength. Now when I look at it, I see that this is a really low-key and powerful guy. In the whole team, Chen Chu's strength is probably in the top 3. Everyone's eyes changed when they looked at Chen Chu. All turned into respect for the strong. They asked themselves, when facing giant elite zombies, it was absolutely impossible for them to be as relaxed as Chen Chu. Ha 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 ha, good boy, not bad. Chen Lei walked over with strides. He has great trust in Chen Chu. Since Chen Chu said that he has the strength of B-level 6th level, then he absolutely believes that Chen Chu has this strength. But witnessing the killing process with one's own eyes, even he was shocked. You brat, you even hid it from me. You can kill with one strike. It's not too much to say that you have 7th level strength. Chen Lei laughed and patted Chen Chu on the shoulder. The tone was full of pride. Why has he been collecting extraordinary objects all these years? Isn't it just so that your kid can have the power to protect himself in the end of the world? And now, kill giant elite zombies with one strike. This kind of strength, looking at the entire apocalypse, can also be called a strong man. Good boy, after collecting the data from the Corpse King City, Dad will get you some extraordinary items to enhance your body strength. In Chen Lei's eyes, now Chen Chu, the extreme cold can no longer harm him. The attack power is also comparable to that of a 7th level powerhouse. But the physical strength and agility are still that of ordinary people, which is really inappropriate. Looking at Dad's thoughtful expression, Chen Chu smiled helplessly. He could already guess that his father would definitely collect a bunch of extraordinary objects for him to strengthen his body. Because last time my father said that he would never be afraid of the cold again. Then, he swallowed 5 ice fruits, 1 ice soul fruit, and countless skin-strengthening items. Master Chen, there is a crystal core, red. Lu Ruyan, who had regained consciousness, broke open the zombie's brain and took out the prismatic crystal core that emitted red light. That brat is very lucky. The probability of an elite zombie producing a crystal core is 1 in 10. You take it as a souvenir, ha ha ha. Chen Chu didn't waste any time and took it directly. The red zombie crystal core is somewhat valuable. Although he is an ordinary person to the outside world, he has no need for crystal nuclei at all. But he is actually a strong man at the peak of S+ level 6. Although a red crystal core cannot allow him to break through, it can always improve his strength. Master Chen, your warhead. Lu Ruyan opened her palm, and inside was a deformed bullet slug. She knew that a large part of her young master's strength came from this special warhead that could limit energy. Use one less. Chen Chu took the warhead. The metal properties of the Infinity Stone are quite good, and it can be reworked. Thank you. Lu Ruyan lowered her rosy face and thanked in a low voice. If it weren't for Chen Chu's shot, she would have been in a bit of a mess anyway. Afterwards, Ruyan Lu became more considerate, taking care of Chen Chu before and after running. The team members watching this scene winked. Lu Ruyan's little thoughts were all exposed now. An hour later, the team rested. Chen Lei brought Chen Chu, Lu Ruyan, and 7 other team members to approach the Corpse King City. In the process of advancing, many zombies appeared one after another. Ordinary zombies can be easily dealt with by the rest of the team. When encountering elite zombies, Chen Chu shot 1 headshot. After another pursuer zombie fell to the ground. The rest of the team is numb. Is this an ordinary person? Along the way, this sentence popped up in their minds countless times. As an ADC with super attack power, it is fine to be able to shoot giant elite zombies from a long distance. After all, Although giant elite zombies have strong strength and high defense, their speed is low, just under the restraint of Chen Chu ADC attributes. But the pursuer is the fastest and the strangest among the zombies. Absolutely restrain ADC. Even for 5th level supernatural beings, it is difficult to catch their whereabouts with the naked eye. But Chen Chu, an ordinary person. Everyone saw the afterimage of the pursuer just a second ago. The next second, the pursuer was shot and fell to the ground. And Chen Chu has already started to repeat his closing action. Young Master Chen's strength definitely ranks second in Starfire City. It's second only to the boss. This is the voice of all the players. They agreed that even without his father, Chen Chu could definitely become the top in the last days. And along the way, Lu Ruyan followed behind Chen Chu in a desperate manner. Pick up the crystal nucleus of the zombies and recover the Infinity Stone warhead. The love in her eyes was so strong that even the blind could see clearly, as if she was about to throw Chen Chu down and eat him raw. Hush! Suddenly, Chen lay in front of him, bent down and lowered his voice. Restrain your breath and climb up this hill. We will be able to observe the situation of the entire Corpse King City. Everyone held their breath. Corpse King City. Millions of zombies. The powerful Corpse King is no joke. If it doesn't work out, the whole army will be wiped out. Chen Chu followed the team and climbed up the mountain while holding his breath. Afterwards, the entire Corpse King City unfolded in his eyes. Human cities covered with frost. Densely packed, like maggots, millions of gray zombies are crowded together. They were numb, crowded and moving slowly. It is biting human bones or chewing the limbs of the same kind in its mouth. Among them were giant zombies with huge stature, who slapped more than a dozen ordinary zombies to death with one palm, and then slammed their chests and roared to the sky. Another pursuer, who can only see afterimages, passed through the pile of zombies. There are also lickers who stick out their tongues. These scenes constitute a purgatory on Earth that is scarier than hell. Perception. Chen Chu quietly bypassed Dad, and released the ability on the Corpse King City. The purpose of their coming to Zombie City is to find out the situation of the Corpse King. With the expansion of abilities, the 3D model of the entire Corpse King City is constantly being built in Chen Chu's mind. But when a special building was detected, Chen Chu found something was wrong. A lot of guns. Hundreds of warehouses are full of firearms in different forms. And with the deepening of abilities, Chen Chu discovered that it was not only firearms but also machine tools. Machine tools for manufacturing guns, cannons, and various military equipment. Chen Chu's pupils shrank slightly. He seems to have discovered a great secret. So, this Corpse King City was an arsenal before the end of the world. Chen Chu's pupils shrank slightly. He is not a fool. He clearly knows what an arsenal means to a force in the end of the world. It means there are almost endless weapons. It means huge wealth. It means that ordinary people can be armed into an army. It means a substantial improvement in strength. Chen Chu restrained his thoughts and began to think about how to let his father find out about this. Dad has been a leader for 30 years in the last days. He knows the strategic significance of an arsenal better than he does. Dad, what is that place? The architecture is so strange, it is different from other places. Chen Chu pretended to be curious. After all, he was born into the apocalypse for 20 years. This is the first time I have gone out so far. For the first time, I saw the original appearance of a human city. The environment of the arsenal is inherently different from other places, so it is reasonable to be curious. Chen Lei looked over in response. He frowned slightly, his eyes a little confused. After all, the prosperous human city only existed in Dad's memory 30 years ago. Before the end of the world, it should be a military camp. Chen Lei said. After all, you can only see the specific layout and general appearance of the building. As for the original words on it, they have long been covered by ice and snow. Before the end of the world, the Xia Kingdom was very powerful, with troops stationed near every city. Infinite memories appeared on Chen Lei's face. At that time, he was just 20 years old and a military student at the National Defense University with a bright future. But the sudden arrival of the Glacier Doomsday disrupted everything. The prosperous human city in Chen Lei's memories overlapped with the Zombie King City. His eyes regained the indifference and solemnity among the strong men in the last days. The end of the dog days. He cursed secretly. Boom. In the midst of everyone's gaze. Suddenly, there was an explosion from where the troops were originally stationed. Several houses exploded, and a large number of zombies exploded directly on the spot, turning into a pool of green flesh. Roar. Suddenly, a zombie riot of a certain scale occurred somewhere. A large number of zombies crowded on the ground greedily, licking the flesh and blood of their own kind. Get down. Chen Lei immediately ordered his team members to lie down on the ground. Only a pair of eyes were revealed to observe the situation in the Corpse King City. What is that? It's such a huge machine. Chen Chu continued to guide. Just now he used space powers. The arsenal buildings and zombies were shattered into pieces. After such a fuss, several huge machine tools were directly exposed. Machine tool. Chen Lei was also a top student before the end of the world, and he has memories of this kind of thing. It's a machine tool for making military equipment. A skinny bearded man wearing mechanical glasses said. Chen Chu knew him. An old man in Starfire City. The last time the Star Stone was discovered, it was also his appraisal. He also made his own Infinity Stone warhead. Liao Shisan, Liao Gong. Minister of Mechanical Department, B+ level superpower, talent, mechanical proficiency, strength, early stage of 6th level. At this time, Liao Gong's originally dry and dark face showed a hint of abnormal blush. He, who was not good at words, was dancing excitedly. This is an arsenal. Look at its layout, it's much stricter than the ordinary special forces before the end of the world. This is Province C's strategic arsenal before the end of the world. Liao Gong was from Province C. He had just entered junior high school when the apocalypse broke out, but he was a complete military fan. His words attracted Chen Lei's attention. He knew about Gong Liao and was only interested in parts. Judging by his reaction, it was definitely true. If we can capture the Corpse King City and move these machine tools back to Spark City, our strength will definitely increase greatly. Chen Lei couldn't help but lick his lips. The value of an entire arsenal is no less than his promotion to an 8th level powerhouse. Take down the Corpse King City and then the arsenal. Then the entire Province C is in the bag, and it has the strength to challenge all the power of surrounding provinces and cities. Spark City is really going to be developed this time. The Corpse King City must be captured. Chen Lei issued the death order. Start to station here in secret, and from now on, immediately collect the data of the Corpse King City to determine the status of the Corpse King. After completing it as soon as possible, return to the city to prepare for war. Know thyself, ever victorious. Although there are many zombies in the Zombie King City. But they are basically the Walking Dead. The purpose of their visit this time was to keep a low profile of the Corpse King City. Investigate the cause of the unrest in the Corpse King City. And the approximate time until full-blown riot. To facilitate subsequent operations. And now, Spark City has another reason to fight. A month later, over the past month, the 20-person superpower team has been working day and night. Collecting data from all directions in the Corpse King City, finally established a complete data model of the Corpse King City on the computer. At the same time, the situation of the Corpse King was investigated. In the warm car, a thin man with bangs covering his glasses placed the notebook in front of Chen Lei. On the computer is a strange tree constructed of blue data lines. The giant blood demon tree. Chen Lei has seen the world after all. Blood demon tree. Although it is a tree, the whole thing is composed of various kinds of disgusting flesh and blood. It is the special monster that attracts monsters and zombies the most. Due to its high attack power and strange abilities, it often kills monsters and zombies that come to lick it. Yes, someone threw a 7th level blood demon giant tree into the Corpse King City. A word from the man with the eyes. It made everyone present shudder. The giant blood demon tree evolves by devouring flesh and blood. There are millions of zombie flesh and blood in the Zombie King City. If they are absorbed by it, they will definitely grow into a monster. The blood demon giant tree itself is a very bloody monster and is the favorite of zombies. If it is swallowed by the Corpse King, it will definitely make the Corpse King stronger. This is raising GU. Some team members couldn't help but say it. It's not about raising GU, it's about raising the Corpse King. Chen Lei interrupted everyone's discussion with a low voice. The Corpse King has been stuck at the peak of the 8th level for 20 years. This 7th level blood demon giant tree can just loosen his state. But it's not enough for the Corpse King to break through. Therefore, after the Corpse King finishes digesting the blood demon giant tree, he will walk out of the territory and start looking for more flesh and blood. Quote. Everyone was silent. No need to think about it. The Corpse King is looking for flesh and blood to attack the 8th level. The first ones to suffer were Agni City and Spark City, which were closest to Corpse King City. But there is good news, the Corpse King has not broken through the 9th level yet. Seeing the gloomy atmosphere, Chen Lei grinned. In less than 10 months, the Corpse King will finish digesting this giant blood demon tree. The IT man with no emotional intelligence pushed up his glasses. This also means that the complete riot in Corpse King City will be 10 months later. Now that the data collection has been completed and the Corpse King's secret has been discovered, don't delay and break camp immediately. Pick up the supply warehouses that Hu Zhang hid around the Corpse King City within today. Then go all out and try to get back to Spark City within 3 weeks to prepare for the war. Quote. A converted giant truck races through the snowy expanse. It stirred up countless ice and snow, leaving a long white tail on the ground. There are a total of 3 material warehouses left by Hu Zhang near the Corpse King City. Chen Chu carried a yellow parchment in his hand. Hu Zhang is a group of robbers with 7th level strength who commit crimes across many places in the last days. The net worth is naturally very rich. Unexpectedly, he actually buried 3 material warehouses near the famous Corpse King City. And one of them is only a little over 10 miles away from the Corpse King City. To know, even if the Corpse King is not restless, the 10-li radius of the Corpse King City is the range of activities of millions of zombies. It is a forbidden place that everyone knows in the last days. Hu Zhang actually dared to build a material warehouse next to this forbidden area, which is really daring. This Hu Zhang is really an old fox. He knows that the most dangerous place is the safest. Most of the looted supplies were hidden near the Corpse King City. Quote. Lu Ruyan squeezed her fist. Then I thought of the bald, blind, sloppy man with a slanted mouth, a scarred face and a lame face. I don't hesitate to spend a lot of energy to build a material warehouse next to the forbidden area of the Corpse King City. I'm too curious about what's in this warehouse. A strange smile appeared on the corner of Chen Chu's mouth. In the last days, is there anything that needs to be hidden so hidden that it requires an adventure? There is only one answer, extraordinary. Hu Zhang is an A-level 7th order rock system supernatural power user. He has the ability to escape. I thought that no one in Province C except him had the ability to enter this material warehouse. But it's a pity that I am an S-level space system supernatural power user. The method of extracting objects from a distance is simply a piece of cake. The supplies that Hu Zhang worked so hard to hide belong to him. A little farewell is better than a newlywed. Just enough to bring some presents for the wives. The smile on Chen Chu's face grew wider. Stop. The voice of the psychic Wu Wu came from outside. Successfully arrived at the first material warehouse. This is the one farthest from the Corpse King City among the 3 warehouses. Several team members went down, and after a while, they carried the supplies into the carriage one after another. Hiss. Wazi, what a good thing. Mother, Red Star Erguotu, I never thought I would see him again in this life. And foreign wine, Remy Martin. Boxes of precious materials were carried onto the car. These things, because of their out-of-print nature, are absolute luxuries in the last days. Many upper-class people are willing to spend a lot of money to buy it. Even use extraordinary items to exchange. This pile of materials, which filled more than half of the carriage, was definitely a fortune. After loading the supplies into the vehicle, the team moved on to the next location non-stop. In the second warehouse, there are some heavy weapons, shells, machine guns and the like. Everyone lacked interest. After all, there was an arsenal waiting for Xingwo City to sign for it. These heavy weapons did not attract the interest of everyone in Xingwo City. But selling to other cities is also a good choice. After quickly packing the weapons, everyone rushed to the last warehouse impatiently. Close to the warehouse in the forbidden area of the Corpse King City. Stop. 10 kilometers away from the last warehouse, Chen Lei stopped the team. After the restlessness in the Corpse King City, the scope of zombie activities has expanded. Come and follow me 10 people, and walk over to bring them back. The modified car is very noisy. If you get any closer, it may trigger a large-scale attack from the zombies. After Chen Lei left behind Chen Chu and 8 other people, he took 10 people with supernatural powers and dragged a snow cart to the place marked on the parchment. After all, Chen Chu was not a real supernatural being, so Chen Lei didn't take him with him. And Chen Chu, who was sitting in the middle of the carriage, had an imperceptible smile on the corner of his mouth. Perception. In an instant, a wave invisible to outsiders was emitted from Chen Chu's brain. Everything within a radius of 10 miles was synchronized in Chen Chu's mind. The strength of the 6th order peak is just enough to perceive a radius of 10 miles. For a moment, Chen Chu found Hu Zhengge's most hidden material warehouse at the edge of his perception. It's really an extraordinary thing. The material warehouse buried deep underground contained hundreds of exquisite boxes, large and small. Each box contains different extraordinary objects. Then I won't be polite. A thought. More than half of the extraordinary objects in the material warehouse came to Chen Chu's supernatural space. It would be a waste of time if Dad and the others find it and start digging again. Chen Chu smiled. Then use the superpower to move the entire supply warehouse. Arrange it on Dad's only path. Probably within a few minutes. They will fall into the warehouse due to a little accident and discover dozens of extraordinary objects at the same time. This is the power of superpowers. After doing all this in the carriage, Chen Chu leisurely made himself a cup of black tea. Waiting for Dad's return. 10 minutes later, a familiar voice came from outside the carriage. It's strange. Hu Zheng marked the wrong location. The warehouse is quite close to us and very close to the ground. I stepped in. I was beaten so hard that I ate shit. Quote, Wu Wu cursed, opened the carriage and walked in. Then, there was a majestic figure. Ha 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 ha. Dad's familiar bold voice came. Son, hurry up, eat. Chen Lei strode to Chen Chu. 5 extraordinary objects were stuffed into his arms. This, Lu Ruyan and the other 7 supernatural team members who stayed here opened their mouths. Did your boss fall into the pile of extraordinary objects? Why are you so generous? 4 C-level extraordinary objects and 1 B-level. And they all enhance physical strength. You're right, it just fell into the pile of extraordinary objects. Wu Wu said with a wry smile, covering his injured waist. Later, he vividly told his teammates the process of discovering this material warehouse. Mom, with 50 extraordinary things, isn't this Hu Zheng too fat? The 6th level water superpower's eyes widened. He has never seen so many extraordinary things in his life. Hearing this, Chen Lei grinned. Now it's me, Starfire City, who's fat. Subsequently, he distributed extraordinary items to the team members one by one according to their respective strengths. Thank you, boss. The boss is mighty. In life, I am the boss, and in death, I am the boss ghost. The team members' eyes lit up and they were beaming with joy. Extraordinary objects are valuable items that can immediately enhance the strength of a person with superpowers. Chen Lei was all smiles. The improvement of the team members' strength means the improvement of Spark City's strength. Moreover, he had no use for the extraordinary items he distributed. Think of it as buying people's hearts. He clapped his hands and said, Great harvest, now start returning to the city with all your strength. Prepare to face the Corpse King City. Yes, the team members who had benefited had loud voices and high energy. And Chen Chu's leisurely sip of extraordinary things and a sip of black tea. Watching the scenery passing by quickly outside the window. His eyes were filled with anticipation. I have been away for more than 2 months, and it will take more than half a month to return to Spark City. In total, I have been away for 3 months. Thinking about my pregnant concubines, their lower abdomens should have become prominent. Xingyu, who is pregnant first, will give birth in less than half a year. By then, he will be the father of 10 children. I'm really looking forward to the system's rewards. After swallowing extraordinary fruit, the strength of all the team members has been more or less enhanced. More importantly, everyone was as excited as if they had been pumped. So it was originally planned to travel in 3 weeks and 21 days. Arrived easily in 15 days. The city lord, it's the city lord and the young master are back. The guards on the watchtower on the ground sounded the welcome whistle. Immediately, the people in the city came out to greet them one after another. When Chen Lei was surrounded by a group of people arranging the preparations for the battle, Chen Chu put oil on the soles of his feet and rushed into the city. He couldn't wait to see his wives and concubines now. In front of the villa residence, the 18 wives and concubines looked at Chen Chu not far away with joy. Chen Chu strode forward, holding the hands of the main wife Yi Miao and the 9th wife Xingyu, who were soft and boneless. One on the left and one on the other. At this time, Xingyu was already 5 months pregnant, and her lower abdomen was quite obvious. Chen Chu looked at Xingyu dotingly. Xingyu's blushing face was buried on his shoulder. As the saying goes, a little farewell is better than a newlywed. But after not seeing each other for 3 months, Xingyu feels that her husband has become more handsome and more fascinating. It's a pity that I am pregnant now. Xingyu showed her sharp canine teeth, exhaled lightly, and whispered in Chen Chu's ear. Husband, go find your sisters, they miss you very much. Chen Chu turned his head to look. Yi Miao on the other side, there was a subtle beating in the eyes full of affection. This made Chen Chu's heart skip a beat. Chen Chu took a sip on Xingyu's forehead. He gave an apologetic look to the other 8 pregnant concubines. Then he entered the villa with his wife and concubine. As for the little demon girl Yueling, who was also not pregnant, after seeing that Chen Chu arrived safely and became stronger, he went back to the house alone. She has a special constitution. He is the only one among the 18 wives and concubines who can restrain Chen Chu. So naturally it will not be with other concubines. With her special physique, she worked much harder than other concubines. For the past 3 months, Chen Chu's handsome face was always in her mind. And, tiger back, wasp waist, praying mantis legs. 2 o'clock, Chen Chu walked down the first floor, and walked towards Yueling's bedroom with an extraordinary object lightly. Chen Chu is Starfire City, who arrived in the morning. Originally, he thought that he would spend no more than 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon with his wife and concubine. I didn't expect that it was only 3 months since we saw each other. The wife and concubine actually thought of him that way. In a blink of an eye, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. That witch should rest. Chen Chu put his hand on the doorknob and turned it gently. Click. There was a gap in the door. Seeing that there was no light inside, Chen Chu breathed a sigh of relief. Sure enough, it was a rest. Put this extraordinary next to the demon girl and leave. Chen Chu is holding an extraordinary fruit shaped like a banana. Gently open the door. No lights were turned on. Sudden. Chen Chu, who had just entered the room, felt a gust of warm wind blowing against his face. Subsequently, it was a reunion we hadn't seen in months. 2 hours later, lights come on. Chen Chu lit a cigarette. The face of the light of the saint. He thought about literature and the universe. I've clearly become stronger. During this period of time, he swallowed many extraordinary objects that strengthen his body. With the physical body, he has the strength of the 6th order peak. Now the overall strength is infinitely approaching the 8th level powerhouse, who is 100 times stronger than the 7th level powerhouse. But, still so thoroughly restrained by the demon girl. Even thinking about the scene just now, Chen Chu shuddered. This woman's strength is terrifying. Slap. As the smoke burns out, the lights suddenly turn off. The voice of the little demon girl Yueling came again. Husband, a little farewell is better than a newlywed. However, Chen Chu, who has been away for 3 months, has paid off the debt for a full 5 months. During these 5 months, he doesn't leave the door, doesn't step out of the door, and concentrates on paying off the debt. It directly sent the little demon girl Yueling to the late stage of 7th order strength. And his overall strength has also successfully reached the 8th level. But the strength of the ability is still stuck at the peak of the 6th level, and has not officially entered the 7th level. And today, it was the first time Chen Chu went out of the house after returning to the city. Because the 9th wife, Xingyu, is about to give birth. Chen Chu will welcome his 10th son today. Outside the delivery room of the medical department, Chen Chu and a group of wives and concubines watched as Xingyu was pushed into the delivery room. This time, Chen Chu didn't light a cigarette to restrain his nervousness. After all, he is already the father of 9 children. The strong tension at the beginning has dissipated, and only the excitement from the depths of the blood remains. And more is to look forward to. Looking forward to the birth of the new child, looking forward to the safety of Xingyu. Looking forward to the rewards of the system and the rapid improvement of one's own strength. Thinking of the reward, Chen Chu looked at the other concubines. During this period of time, apart from the fact that the belly of the wife who was originally pregnant became more and more obvious, and it was getting closer to giving birth. Another good thing is that Zhou is pregnant again. His hard work these days is not in vain. Now besides Xingyu, he has 9 other wives who are pregnant. 8 of the wives and concubines were 9 months pregnant. Production will begin next month. With 8 children next month, Chen Chu will usher in a real multi-children blessing. And Xiao Chao has just been pregnant for 2 months, it is not obvious yet, and it is still early before the day of giving birth. Wow, tower, with the sound of a baby crying cut his breath. The red light was on in the delivery room. The door opened, and Su Lan came out and took off the earmuffs. Her face is full of smiles. Ah Chu, it's a daughter, a cute mixed-race daughter with blonde hair and black eyes. The birth of the heir of the host has been detected, and the reward has been issued, please pay attention to check it. Congratulations to the number of host descendants reaching 10, unlocking the achievement of 10 sons. 10 children achieved, the system upgrade is successful. Congratulations to the host, the family panel has been opened. A series of system prompts sounded. Chen Chu was almost knocked unconscious. But anyway, I have seen the world. Chen Chu suppressed the curiosity in his heart. Take his wife and concubine into the delivery room to visit Xingyu and the child. Husband, sweating profusely and exhausted, Xingyu looked at Chen Chu with a smile while holding the child. Chen Chu walked to her side and gently stroked her hair. His eyes are full of doting. The original little lowly Xingyu now had maternal radiance in her eyes. She looked at the child in her arms. It's like showing off the world's most precious treasures. Husband, look, our child. Xingyu's big blue eyes were curved. The face shape and nose bridge are like mine, and the eyebrows and eyes are like my husband. Xingyu stretched out her fingers and gently teased the baby. This is her union with her husband. Lalalo. The child opened his eyes and looked at his father and mother, and let out a lovely laugh. Husband, let the child laugh again. Xingyu squeezed Chen Chu's arm. Looking at the child who was born with bright eyes, Chen Chu seemed to have thought of something. Quickly open the system panel to check the system reward notification just now. Detected offspring talent. S Phoenix, advanced 3-dimensional rewards. S class. It is only a small stage lower than the eldest son Chen Han. He is the second most talented existence among his 10 descendants. It's no wonder that Xingyu was less than a month pregnant, and Su Lan could immediately detect the concentration of the baby's abilities. And now, the baby is just born. Not only can you open your eyes, but you can also smile. And the hair is thick too. Husband, give the child a name. Xingyu looked at Chen Chu expectantly. Chen Chu pondered slightly. Just call Chen Yu. Chen Yu. You. What does flying mean in Chinese? Xingyu read her child's name carefully. Yes, it means flying. Chen Chu nodded. Talent. Phoenix. S rank. Definitely a formidable talent. Fei Luo. Xiaoyu Fei Luo. Fly out of the ice and snow, out of the end of the world. Xingyu held the child high. Lalalo. The laughter of the fourth daughter Chen Yu spread throughout the delivery room. After, Xingyu, who just finished giving birth, fell into a deep sleep because she was too exhausted. The child, Chen Yu, was taken away by Su Lan for a comprehensive inspection. It's late. Chen Chu walked back home with the concubines. Back to the villa. After playing around with wives and concubines for a while, Chen Chu immediately walked into the practice room and quickly turned on the system. System upgrade. Chen Chu clicked on the message. The system is upgraded to 2.0. After that, the system will detect the most suitable candidates for concubines within 10 meters of the host, including physical condition, talent, and appearance. This is good. Chen Chu's eyes lit up. With this function, there is no longer any fear of missing hidden talents like Jiang Qing Shui in the future. In this way, it will be more convenient for him to marry a wife and take concubines in the future. What is the family panel? Chen Chu clicked in. The family panel is open. In this panel, the host can query the information and status of all people who are related to him by blood. At the same time, the prototype of the family has been formed, and the host can use the family panel to change and endow the offspring with talent and potential. The two entries made Chen Chu's eyes widen. The first is the family panel. He is the patriarch. On top of him, a line connects Dad Chen Lei. The 10 lines below it are connected to its 10 descendants. Chen Han is going to break through the third-order ability user. Glance away. Chen Chu suddenly discovered that the state of the eldest son was not right. Name, Chen Han. Identity, the eldest son. Age, 3 years old. Talent, S level absolute 0. Potential, SS. Strength, second order peak. Skills, icicle, cool down, slow down. Status, in promotion to tier 3, progress, 99%. 3-year-old S-class third order ability user. Chen Chu was originally proud of his own strength, but now he's suddenly weakened. But the strength of the heirs has increased, and I can get feedback. Thinking of this, Chen Chu felt better again. His offspring want to become stronger and better. Only in this way can one's own strength become stronger and stronger. Boy, I'll give you time to catch up. Chen Chu smiled and closed Chen Han's panel. He turned his attention to the second entry. Through the family panel, he can improve the talent of his offspring, and even grant abilities to untalented offspring. Create supernatural beings out of thin air. Chen Chu's pupils shrank slightly. In the last days, the probability of being a supernatural being among human beings is 1 in thousands. But now, he can endow his heirs with talents and create supernatural beings out of thin air. From then on, there is no need to worry that the heir is not a supernatural being. How can I bestow talents on the heirs? Obtain opportunities based on family strength, current family strength, level 6. Now Chen Chu can choose to roll the dice in exchange for the son talent. Now the offspring's talent is still passable, and we'll talk about it later. He only has 6 family points now, and family points are required for rolling dice and exchanging talents. And Chen Chu is quite satisfied with the talent of his heir. I plan to save it first, and a big wave will come later. After the achievement of the 10 sons, the system has changed a lot. It has become more beneficial to me. Chen Chu closed the system message. Investigate wives and concubines, query status of offspring, improve and grant offspring talents. This is the new function added to the system after this achievement is unlocked. After finding out, Chen Chu put it aside and began to receive rewards. Reward received successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining S-level physical characteristic, healing. Reward received successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining advanced 3-dimensional bonus. S-level physique characteristic, healing, blessing. S-level rewards. Chen Chu didn't think about it at all, and directly chose blessing. Moment. The whole body, from flesh to blood to bone marrow, from dandruff to fingernails. Even the 5 stomachs and 6 internal organs began to itch extremely. It's like being eaten by hundreds of millions of ants. Chen Chu gritted his teeth, sweating profusely, trembling all over. I saw his hair grow rapidly and fall off again. The skin is constantly shedding, falling off, and growing new ones. Repeat this for half an hour. There are hairs and dead skin and nails everywhere in the practice room. And a brand new Chen Chu also appeared. His original height of 180 was raised to 183. The body is more uniform and beautiful, and the limbs are more coordinated, which is more conducive to fighting. The whole body is full of lean and muscular curves, full of violent aesthetics. The edges and corners of the face have also become more distinct and more handsome. Moreover, Chen Chu found that his sense of sight, hearing and touch became more sensitive. More importantly, my body's ability to heal. With one thought, the skill is activated. Cut. A deep bony gash appeared on Chen Chu's thumb. And a miraculous scene happened. The wound heals at a speed visible to the naked eye, scabs and returns to its original shape. The whole process takes no more than 10 seconds. Chen Chu frowned. As long as it is not fatal, his body will fully heal to its original shape within 10 seconds. As this, the physical characteristics of the S-class. With this ability, his overall strength has directly entered the ranks of 8th order powerhouses. He made a fist. Feel the powerful activity of your own cells. A smile appeared on Chen Chu's lips. S-level physical attributes. Let his overall strength successfully reach the 8th level. Finally, I have reached the stage of being as powerful as my father. It took him 3 years to do what it took Dad 30 years to do. My ability seems to be getting more and more interesting. Chen Chu lowered his head and looked around his body. He suddenly discovered that his ability was an S+ level space ability. When in danger, it can hide in the supernatural space, and no one can find it. And now I have the S-level physical characteristic, healing. As long as it is not a one-hit kill, all damage will be healed within 10 seconds. He suddenly realized his ability. It seems to be developing in the direction of immortality. Don't say what will happen in the future. But with Chen Chu's current strength alone, no one in the entire province of C could hurt him in the slightest. Even if the father and sister Fenju joined forces. Even if he was thrown into the Corpse King City alone with millions of zombies, he could still live well. In addition to the ability to be immortal, there is also my longevity. Every time an heir is born. In addition to receiving some special physical rewards, Chen Chu. There will also be 3-dimensional enhancements of different levels. 3 dimensions include life, talent, potential. And the life in it rises. In addition to making the body stronger and the concentration of life deeper. It also increases lifespan, although Chen Chu doesn't know the specific amount of each lifespan increase. But every time he improves in 3 dimensions, he can be sure that his lifespan will also increase. It is a mysterious state and feeling. Ability develops in the direction of immortality, and lifespan develops in the direction of immortality. Maybe if you continue to become stronger like this, you will truly achieve immortality one day. Immortal and powerful. This is God. A trace of anticipation flashed across Chen Chu's heart. System, receive the 3-dimensional reward. Without hesitation. Chen Chu, who was looking forward to becoming stronger, immediately received the advanced 3-dimensional reward that the 4th daughter Chen Yu received when she was born. Congratulations to the host, the advanced 3D reward has been successfully collected. Advanced life improvement +1. Advanced talent improvement +1. Advanced potential increase +1. 3 addictive numbing sensations spiral from the soles of the feet to the Tianling cap. Chen Chu shuddered. Subsequently, he felt the supernatural energy all over his body being mobilized crazily. The energy washes over the muscles, veins and internal organs. Finally, he ran towards Dantian. Bo, accompanied by a gentle sound like water dripping into the sea. A bright blue light flashed from him. Chen Chu opened his eyes, with a confident smile on his lips. The superpower has finally broken through to the 7th level. Host panel. Name, Chen Chu. Identity, clan leader. Age, 21 years old. Talent, S+ level space system. Potential, S. Physical characteristics, S level healing. Spiritual consciousness, 5% zombie virus resistance. Strength, early stage of 7th level. Skills, basic skills of space system, elite level physical skills, elite level spear skills, 36 techniques in the Deep Palace. After the system upgrade, the panel has more functions. However, Chen Chu still focused on talent, potential, and strength. The talent is still S+, an advanced 3-dimensional bonus, which is not enough to be promoted to SS. Traveling through 21 years of the apocalypse. And quite powerful. But Chen Chu has never seen an SS-level superpower. Enough to show this level of rarity. I have never seen SS superpowers, but I do know SS's hidden talents. Chen Chu thought of Jiang Qing Shui that had been drying for a long time. This is the only SS-level talent in the entire province of C. Still worrying about being a useless person. It's almost dry, wait for 2 days and then hit it a few times, then you can attack and flirt. A smirk appeared on Chen Chu's face. For a Tsunere ice type like Jiang Qing Shui, he has plenty of means. There is no breakthrough in talent, but the potential has finally come to S-class potential. Chen Chu clearly remembered that his previous talent was A. Directly across 2 small stages. Chen Chu was in a good mood. The ability has finally broken through to the 7th level. He is much stuck at the peak of the 6th order. For more than a year, the concentration of abilities has been increasing, even surpassing the 8th level abilities. But the rank still did not break through the 7th rank. This time, finally succeeded in breaking through. The ability that has accumulated until it is almost condensed into a solid is like a fish entering the sea. Madness ran wildly among the widened tendons. Washing over and over again strengthens Chen Chu's body. After a full hour, it was quiet. The current overall strength is probably in the late 8th order. Chen Chu has a very clear grasp of his overall strength. 3 years, the strength surpasses that of the old man. Now, he has finally become Starfire City's trump card. Next month, 8 wives and concubines will give birth, so they should be able to advance to the 9th level of strength. No matter how strong the Corpse King is. After all, he still didn't break through the 9th step. Even after half a year, the Corpse King broke through the 9th rank. But Chen Chu is not a vegetarian either, waiting for his 8 heirs to come. One's own strength will be greatly strengthened again. Without accidents, you can definitely enter the 9th level. And once you enter the 9th level, he is confident, and with his own abilities, he is invincible at the same level. The Corpse King's problem is solved. Chen Chu breathed a sigh of relief. His own strength grows much faster than the Corpse King. But as a man, you can't be proud of your strength. Men, just face the difficulties. There was a firm light in Chen Chu's eyes. He has already decided, and now he is going to face the difficulties. With determination to win, Chen Chu walked out of the practice room. Resolutely walked towards the room of the little demon girl Yueling. The wind is rustling and the water is cold. Ah, husband. Yueling was awakened again in her deep sleep at night. Sister Sheba, why are your dark circles so heavy? At noon the next day, in the restaurant, his wife Yi Miao looked at Yueling curiously. Yueling is the strongest among them. Usually, his face is full of spring breeze, and his face is rosy and moist. Today, I have dark circles under my eyes, and I slept until noon. It's nothing, I practiced many times yesterday, I went to bed too late. She bit, many times, especially hard. Yueling lowered her head and drank the porridge, and secretly glanced at Chen Chu who was sitting in the main seat. Why did this little rascal suddenly become stronger last night? Chen Chu was in a good mood eating all kinds of high-end ingredients with a happy face. Last night was the day I had the most kills. But he discovered that his healing ability was more than just healing wounds. As long as it is lost by the body, it can quickly produce and heal. This also made Chen Chu strong yesterday. Often not enough, the number of times to make up. He finally found a way to slightly restrain the little demon girl. Husband, why do you eat meat all the time, and eat more vegetables? The nutrition is balanced. Yi Miao thoughtfully put a salad in Chen Chu's bowl. Chen Chu raised his head and looked at the little demon girl Yueling who was bowing her head opposite her. Laughed. It's okay, I want to add more protein. Chapter 51. Chen Chu's words made Yueling, who was across the table, lower his head even further. She hurriedly drank a bowl of porridge and left immediately. Concern for other sisters, she gritted her teeth and replied. I have had a sudden feeling recently, and I feel that my physique has made a breakthrough. I will be able to suppress all enemies by then. After leaving these words, she went straight to the basement. There are several different practice rooms. Sister Sheba is a 6th level powerhouse, but she still works so hard. Yi Miao sighed with admiration and envy. Compared with the size of wives and concubines, Chen Chu's legs suddenly went limp. The little demon girl's physique is going to break through. Just now, he can barely win quality by numbers. What if the witch's physique breaks through? Wouldn't he be going back to the time when he was killed crazily? It seems that we cannot relax and must continue to strengthen our strength. Chen Chu made up his mind. He set his sights on the 8 concubines who were about to give birth. Next month, I will welcome 8 children in a row. The strength must have risen substantially. Even if her physique breaks through and is promoted, what can the little demon girl win? Chen Chu put aside the matter of the little demon girl. Concentrate on dealing with the big meal on the table. Yesterday, there was a level promotion, physical evolution, and the subsequent battle with the witch. Both consume a lot of energy. Food supplements are urgently needed now. While eating, Chen Chu felt several eyes locked on him. He looked up and saw his wives and concubines staring at him. Especially Yi Miao beside him. It almost stuck to him. Yi Miao's eyes curled up. He whispered softly, Husband, you seem to have become more handsome. The eccentric Xiao Chao's eyes were shining brightly, and there was crystal clear saliva hanging from the corner of his mouth. Husband, you have really become more handsome. And you just walked in, and you were still coming. Before, I reached your chest, but now I only reach here. Xiao Chao danced and gestured. Hee, the most important thing is. Hee, husband, you seem to have gotten a lot stronger. I just squeezed some really hard muscles. Xiao Chao smiled like a crazy man. Elder sister Da Chao covered her face with one hand, and helplessly wiped the drool from the corner of Xiao Chao's mouth. Xiao Chao looked at Chen Chu and then at his obviously bulging belly. His little face slumped down. She lay down on the table unrequitedly, looking sideways at her elder sister, Da Chao. Serious face. Sister, you must come for me a few more times today. Well, Da Chao covered her face with one hand, and covered her sister's startling mouth with the other. Yi Miao reached out and poked Chen Chu. Husband, you really have more muscles. Are you exercising recently? Chen Chu's muscles are not as big and lumpy as those with supernatural powers. It is a refined muscle full of strength and explosiveness. It belongs to looking thin when wearing clothes, and looking fat when taking off clothes. Chen Chu knew that it was the effect of receiving the S-level physical characteristics last night, healing and physical evolution. His appearance didn't change much. It's just that the stronger muscles and more coordinated limbs have brought about changes in temperament. Maybe it's developed. Chen Chu grinned casually. You can't always tell. Because I am stronger than Dad, right? Chen Chu feels that his father can survive for a few more years. It's better to stay quiet and be invincible. Swallow the last little green dragon. Chen Chu felt relaxed all over. In the last days, food is the item that can bring the most sense of security to human beings. He wiped his mouth clean. Look around at the wives and concubines who look like hungry wolves looking at sheep. Chen Chu smiled and said, Want to take a lunch break? The wives and concubines nodded. Especially Xiao Chao, who was pregnant. Her eyes immediately turned into stars, and she nodded frantically. Chen Chu pointed his index finger on her head. You can't. Then he left with his unpregnant wives and concubines. Xiao Chao was left crying and fainted in the restaurant. Evening, after Chen Chu had dinner. Take a walk to eat and walk towards the city lord's mansion. Dad has a meeting today. As the heir, he would naturally be present. Ah Chu. A surprised voice sounded behind him. Su Lan, who had gold-rimmed glasses and a white coat, trotted up to him. Sister Lan, Chen Chu greeted with a smile. Su Lan, who looked delighted, suddenly froze. She came close to Chen Chu's chest. Move your hand over your head. Achu, you seem to have gotten taller. Su Lan is the director of the medical department. Chen Chu has been particularly concerned about Chen Chu's health since he was a child. At this time, a small change occurred, and she could immediately notice it. She circled around Chen Chu. It's not just taller, the body is more straight, the facial lines are more obvious, and it has become more handsome. She stretched out her white index finger and poked Chen Chu lightly. 8-pack abs. Achu, you've grown up again. You are only 21 years old and your development is normal. Su Lan naturally held Chen Chu's arm, and said happily. Our Achu is already a real man. Yeah, he's a real man. Chen Chu's tone was playful. Su Lan, who was excited, didn't realize this. She held Chen Chu's strong arm. Talking to oneself in joy. Achu, you have great potential. You see, your father is now a powerful S-level 8th level supernatural power user. Your descendants are also all superpowers. You are now growing again. Maybe I can really awaken my powers later. Maybe it's because your supernatural ability is too strong, and your body can't bear it, so you keep hiding. You are still young and your chances are still great. Quote. Just like the second development this time, if you have any changes in your body in the future, you must tell me, did you hear me? Being held by Su Lan, Chen Chu suffered from turmoil. He answered absent-mindedly. The status of other places has changed, and you don't know. Ah, Su Lan froze suddenly. Achu, are your physical changes serious? She looked very serious. Achu, you must tell me if you have any changes in your body, and you must come to me to check you out. Where did you just say that the situation has changed a lot? Tell me quickly. Su Lan was very anxious. Chen Chu is the only person she cares about in the last days. She didn't allow any accidents to happen to Chen Chu. Unexpectedly, Su Lan took her casual words seriously. Chen Chu showed an unexpectedly deep smile. Then he pretended to be scared. Sister Lan, my body has really changed a lot. See Chen Chu's appearance. Su Lan immediately panicked. Where is it, Achu, what's wrong with you? Su Lan stretched out her hand as white as an onion and anxiously began to check Chen Chu's body. Not here either. Not here. Yes, this is it. What's wrong with it? Su Lan's palm lit up with green light. The skill is activated and treatment is ready at any time. But when she realized that the place Chen Chu said was healthy. After looking up again and seeing the corners of Chen Chu's raised lips, her face immediately turned red, and she realized that she had been tricked. She spat softly, "You little rascal." Then, he turned around and left quickly. Looking at Su Lan's back, Chen Chu smiled even more. Sister Lan, you can't run away. Come on, brat. Just stepped into the city lord's mansion. The father in the main hall waved to Chen Chu. Dad. Chen Chu walked into the main hall and greeted his father. Now that the city of Corpse King is getting closer and closer, Dad goes out more and more frequently. After all, father and son have not seen each other for several months. Eat it quickly. Just came to Daddy's side. Chen Chu felt that his father had thrust a fruit into his hand. He raised his hand and looked. A fruit the size of an apple, the surface of which is constantly flashing with golden light. B-class extraordinary object. Chen Chu, who successfully broke through, can now perceive energy extremely accurately. Extraordinary thing to enhance your physique, eat it quickly. Hurry up and let Dad have more grandchildren. Chen Chu swallowed the fruit whole. He was very satisfied with the enhancement effect of B-level extraordinary objects on his physique. But his father's words made the corners of his mouth twitch. He now has 10 children. And there will be a spurt of 8 next month. And Xiao Chao became pregnant again. In total, that's 19. Isn't this enough for Daddy to hug? Dad scoffed at this. You brat, this level is still far from reviving humanity. When the problem of Corpse King City is solved, I will give you dozens of concubines. When the time comes, you will have peace of mind, have many children, and be blessed, and just revive humanity. He looked at his father acting as if he was taking it for granted and would do what he said. Chen Chu supported his forehead. Fortunately, his strength and physique are constantly getting stronger. Otherwise, his father would easily get him more than a dozen concubines at once. I'm afraid he would have died a long time ago. Fortunately, I have acquired the physical property of healing. Thinking of this, Chen Chu felt relieved. With the existence of the S-level physical characteristic, healing, he never has to worry about the death of anyone. He even found a way to restrain the little demon girl. I look forward to having a similar one among the 8 system rewards next month. Chen Chu raised his eyebrows. Dad, did you call me here because of something important? Chen Lei smiled boldly and said, of course it's something big. Didn't you, kid, fall in love with that Jiang Qing Shui before? Dad is busy with things in Corpse King City right now, so I can't take a concubine for you. Now I want you to have more contact with Jiang Qing Shui. It will be more convenient for our 2 cities to marry in the future. After speaking seriously, Chen Lei lowered his voice and said, it didn't have to be so troublesome, I could just grab it. But there is no way. Now Fire City and we have a cooperative relationship, and the other party is also willing to marry, so we can't rob it. Just treat it like a normal relationship. This is how you would fall in love at your age before the end of the world. Quote. Chen Chu looked at his father and said seriously that he wanted to grab Jiang Qing Shui. My scalp felt numb. Stealing the sister of a late S-level 8th level powerhouse. Rob the steward of a giant city. Grab SS level hidden talents. As expected of Dad, he is getting better and better. Jiang Qing Shui. Okay, I just have time recently. A shuddering smile appeared on Chen Chu's lips. Jiang Qing Shui has been drying for so long. It's time to deliver a few critical hits and then officially start closing the net. My silly little wife. Jiang Qing Shui's arrogant look appeared in his mind, and the villain smile on Chen Chu's lips became even bigger. But don't worry, son, you marry Jiang Qing Shui first. After the Corpse King City is solved and Dad is successfully promoted to the 9th level, I will snatch Jiang Fenju from you. Quote. An S-level concubine will definitely give birth to the most powerful grandson. Chen Chu looked at his father's serious look. I couldn't help but give it a thumbs up. In Dad's heart, his status are infinitely high. He wouldn't even think about whether he, an ordinary person on the surface, was worthy of being the lord of a giant city. But it has to be said that there is an S-level 8th level late-stage fire type and an SS-level hidden talent. Moreover, they are so beautiful that they have their own characteristics. Of course, she is the most suitable to be your own little wife. City Lord Chen, are you looking for me? Jiang Qing Shui, wearing silver-rimmed glasses and a small suit with a frosty face, walked in. And when she saw Chen Chu was also there, his face visibly stiffened, then recovered. But she herself didn't notice that her head, which was originally held high, was now slightly lowered unconsciously. This small detail made Chen Chu smile. Sure enough, the seeds buried before had taken root and sprouted. Haha, Xiao Zhang, haven't you been supervising the construction of the underground passage between the two cities? How is it now? Dad spoke. Jiang Qing Shui avoided Chen Chu's gaze and pushed up his glasses. The Earth-type superpowers in the two cities, working with the construction team, are more than halfway through the process. They will definitely be able to complete it before the riots in the Corpse King City. Ha ha ha, that's good, I'm going to send the brat to be the supervisor with you. This, Jiang Qing Shui frowned. This is not only what I mean, but also what your sister means. Okay, you can take the brat to get acquainted with him, I'm still busy. Quote. After giving the instructions, Chen Lei lowered his head and wrote and drew on the map on the table, ignoring other people. Jiang Qing Shui froze on the spot for a while. Finally, he moved towards Chen Chu with difficulty. Chen Chu, let's go. After saying that, she turned around and left. Chen Chu frowned. A proud iceberg type, right? Are you ready to sink to the bottom of the sea? Then, he followed Jiang Qing Shui with his hands behind his back and walked toward the underground passage together. This is a good job. Underground tunnel. Chen Chu, Jiang Qing Shui and several superhuman bodyguards sat on the moving vehicle and drove towards the end. Well, as long as this underground passage is completed, for our two cities, whether it is economic trade, resource exchange, or personnel flow. Even in the face of powerful natural disasters and monster sieges, the ability to withstand stress can be improved by several levels. Quote. Although the two of them were sitting side by side, Jiang Qing Shui kept looking straight ahead without leaning to one side. Although he kept explaining along the way, he never looked at Chen Chu. Roar. Suddenly, the earth wall on the right side of the running vehicle broke open, and an ugly underground beast rushed towards a few people. But as soon as he appeared, he was easily dispatched by the supernatural bodyguards around him. One of them is the precious son of Thunder Tiger Chen Lei, and the other is the biological sister of Huo Feng Wang Jiang Fenju. The bodyguards equipped with special abilities are naturally top-notch. The ones with the lowest strength are all B-level 6. After a moment of silence, Jiang Qing Shui still chose to explain to Chen Chu. Since his sister agreed to let him participate in the establishment of the underground passage, then she has the responsibility and obligation to explain. There are many problems in building underground passages, and one of the big problems is the underground beasts that appear at any time. We cannot tell which direction has fewer underground beasts and which direction has weaker underground beasts. This is why the obstruction work took so long. The engineering team has to be careful every day. Quote. Chen Chu casually held the back of his head with both hands and looked around. Perception. An invisible energy wave expanded from his brain. The situation within a 10-mile radius of the entire underground was clearly imprinted in his mind at this moment. It's not a problem for me that other people can't understand what's on the other side of the soil. After waiting, the engineering team can be accelerated. Quote. Chen Chu thought so, but with his supernatural ability, he could feel a body trembling slightly beside him. Chen Chu turned to look at Jiang Qing Shui. She still looks cold on the outside. But in fact, under the loose dark suit, her body was trembling slightly. She is afraid of the underground beast just now. Chen Chu immediately made another judgment. I remember Sister Fenju said earlier that Jiang Qing Shui had psychological shadows when he was a child. It's because of the monster. Chen Chu looked at Jiang Qing Shui, who was pretending to be calm on the surface. The corners of his mouth couldn't stop rising. He came up with an interesting plan. As it happens, at this time, an elite underground beast appeared within Chen Chu's perception range. Chen Chu looked at Jiang Qing Shui with a smile on his face. Oh ho 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 ho, my stupid future little wife. At a location 5 kilometers away from the underground passage where they are located, an elite underground monster is sleeping at this time. The elite level generally corresponds to the 5th level to 6th level abilities of human beings. As for this underground beast, Chen Chu felt that its aura was very strong. It is stronger than the creepers and lickers that I killed in the Corpse King City before. The strength probably corresponds to the ability user of the 6th order peak. You are the one. Chen Chu immediately wrapped the underground beast with supernatural powers. His overall strength is equivalent to the late 8th level. Isn't it easy to deal with a 6th level peak person? Move. The powerful space system ability is activated. The elite underground beast sleeping 5 kilometers away was instantly moved under the running vehicle by a powerful energy. Roar. The underground beast that woke up instantly became furious. It broke through the soil layer directly, roaring, and smashed straight at the running car. Protect the young master. Protect the chief. The sudden change made the supernatural bodyguards on both sides unexpected. Fortunately, they are strong enough and rich in combat experience. Before the furious supernatural beast broke through the soil layer and crashed into the running car, he jumped out of the car with Chen Chu and Jiang Qing Shui. Master, are you okay? The captain of his own guard was very nervous. I am afraid that Chen Chu will lose his hair. Then I will lose my head. Fine. Chen Chu waved his hand casually. He looked at Jiang Qing Shui, who jumped to the other side. It's an elite underground beast. Jiang Qing Shui's guard captain frowned. Equivalent to the peak of the 6th level. At this moment, the subterranean beast was burning with rage, its whole body erupted with energy, and it was easy to identify its strength. Eyes, what are you eating? Didn't such a big elite monster find out in advance? The guard captain yelled angrily. A 6th order peak supernatural beast, the same level as him. But it is very laborious to kill. And what he calls eyes. It is the code name of a team member who is responsible for observing the surrounding environment. The abilities of this type of team members are usually very sensitive to energy fluctuations. Although they cannot know what is behind the soil layer, they can detect danger in advance. But now the eyes look full of innocence. Heavenly mirror. There are 2 precious bodies of Chen Chu and Jiang Qing Shui on the running car. Along the way, he used all his powers to operate. I'm afraid something will go wrong. But just now, this underground beast appeared out of thin air. I'll settle the score with you later. The captain cursed, took out his weapon, and put on a fighting stance. Protector. After giving the instructions, he met the underground beast. Chen Chu was watching from the other side with his arms folded. Looking at Jiang Qing Shui's trembling hands under the cuffs of his suit, Chen Chu's eyes were playful. The first step to planning is success. My stupid future wife, welcome in. Boom. Another sound. The earth wall behind Jiang Qing Shui exploded. An ugly long-tailed lizard came out of the dust with its tongue out. Elite level. The eyes of the superpower protecting Jiang Qing Shui bulged. What's going on today? Why are there so many elite underground beasts? Usually I don't see it once a month. Eyes, don't you let me relax your vigilance. The deputy captain cursed, gritted his teeth, drew his weapon and rushed over. This one's strength is not bad. At the late stage of tier 6, it's the same as the vice captain. The eyes stood beside Jiang Qing Shui and wanted to cry without tears. Really, really, really. These underground beasts appeared out of thin air. His superpowers were almost emitting smoke. Eyes, the captain and vice captain will find it difficult to escape in a short period of time. You have to perceive it carefully next time. The other team members looked cautiously. It will be very difficult if there is another monster at the end of the 6th level, the peak of the 6th level. My eyes are also blurred. His eyes were bloodshot, and the blood vessels around his eyes burst out, sensing the wind and grass around him. And Jiang Qing Shui, who had been protected behind him by the escort team. Keeping his head down, his body stiff, his fists clenched. Can you survive 2 times for so long? Chen Chu was a little surprised. Jiang Qing Shui was harder to bully than he thought. Go, you two, go to aid Fire City. Chen Chu's guard captain ordered the team members. Although he is the strongest, his highest order is to protect Chen Chu, so naturally he cannot leave at will. However, underground beasts always pounce on people in the Fire City. No matter what I say here, I still need to help. Chen Chu folded his arms, observing the battle situation, and searching for the elite underground beasts around him. As for why the underground beasts didn't come towards me, of course it's because of him. As soon as the aura of the late 8th level is released, several underground beasts with 6th level strength will dare to come over. Mid-6th level, forget it, let's make do with it. Move. Another elite underground beast was found by Chen Chu. Boom. The underground beast descends from the sky. It fell 1 meter away from the clear water of the river. Thud thump. Jiang Qing Shui stepped back with his eyes wide open, and sat down on the ground. The tremors of the body are visible to the naked eye. Eyes, pay your attention. The 2 superpower team members roared and rushed forward. 2 6th order early stages can still be solved against 1 6th order mid-stage. Jiang Qing Shui sat on the ground, his hair was scattered, and his glasses fell off. He was shaking all over and gasping for air. Boss! Boss! The only remaining, I, and another female team member held Jiang Qing Shui's arm. Jiang Qing Shui, who had just stood up, saw that he was not far away. His own guards were fighting fiercely with 3 extremely ugly elite beasts. The dark underground environment with thin air, the ugly appearance of the underground beast coupled with the strange roar, and the loud noises that kept coming during the battle. All kinds of factors put together. Jiang Qing Shui felt dizzy and had difficulty breathing. A series of terrifying pictures continued to emerge in the depths of memory. Boom. She sat down on the ground again. Shrink into a ball. Hold your head in your hands. Trembling all over. This time, no matter how hard the 2 supernatural beings pulled it, they couldn't pull it up. Boom. Single quote. Boom. Single quote. Boom. Single quote. At this time, 3 gunshots were heard. Jiang Qing Shui's body trembled, and she raised her head tremblingly. He was seeing Chen Chu put away his gun. Her eyes widened, and her body felt like 3 arrows had been shot out of the air. Boss! The female team member immediately used her healing skills. A moment later, Jiang Qing Shui came back to his senses. She picked up her glasses and put them on. Her head, which had been held high, was completely lowered. After the underground beast is solved, the 2 sides will make peace. Jiang Qing Shui lowered his head and whispered to Chen Chu. Thank you. She clutched her sleeves tightly with both hands. Now she has a gray face and a messy hair. Opposite him, Chen Chu was spotless, tall and straight, with a handsome face. It's good that you're fine. Chen Chu showed a bright and handsome smile. Then, his eyes lit up. Ha 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 ha, look what he found. There is such an ugly and scary underground beast. That's great. Gia, my stupid little future wife, you didn't think this was the end, did you? The elite level subterranean beast that Chen Chu discovered this time is simply ugly and earth-shattering. The obese body was piled up layer by layer, and on the broad face, all the facial features were crowded together, only the size of a fist, with no nose, eyes, mouth and tongue, dirty and bald hair on the body, and crooked yellow teeth. Combining these, not to mention Jiang Qing Shui, even Chen Chu was shocked when he first sensed it. This thing will appear directly in front of Jiang Qing Shui later, boom. Ha ha ha, see if you can hold on. At this moment, the trembling of Jiang Qing Shui's body had gradually decreased. But he still lowered his head, clutching the cuffs of his little suit covered in dirt with both hands. Chen Chu rolled his eyes, and temporarily wrapped the extremely ugly underground beast with his supernatural power. Before the storm comes, the sea is the calmest. The real disaster is often in a peaceful afternoon. Now Jiang Qing Shui was frightened and lost control. He couldn't even maintain his original arrogance. But to crush her completely, we still have to wait for her to let go of her vigilance a little bit and regain a little bit of calm. Another fatal blow. Gia. The corners of Chen Chu's mouth turned up. Your face is dirty, just wipe it off. With an angelic smile, Chen Chu handed Jiang Qing Shui a clean white handkerchief. Jiang Qing Shui lowered his head and stretched out his stiff hands. The clean white handkerchief was in stark contrast to her palm covered in loess and black mud. She paused, grabbed the handkerchief immediately, and clenched it tightly. On the surface she looked calm. But her hands were very hard, over and over again, rubbing her hands fiercely, even until they were red and bloodstained. Boss. Chen Chu eliminated the elite supernatural beast with 3 shots. The guards of Raging Fire City also immediately returned to Jiang Qing Shui's side. Boss, are you all right? The captain of the guard spoke anxiously. It's okay, it's okay. Jiang Qing Shui nodded mechanically, but the strength of wiping his hands became heavier and heavier. Young Master Chen, thank you. The captain of the escort team clasped his fists and thanked Chen Chu solemnly. With his pistol skills, Chen Chu headshot the elite zombies in the city of the Corpse King. It is widely circulated in Raging Fire City and Starfire City. What I saw with my own eyes today was even more shocking. Even Chen Chu, the subterranean beast who had to go all out, was able to kill it with a headshot. Young Master Chen is indeed young and promising. With a pistol skill of the 6th rank, he is sure to be invincible. The captain of the guard in Raging Fire City is also a sweetheart. He has great respect for those who are stronger than himself. Not to mention a life-saving benefactor. Chen Chu could feel the other party's sincerity. He laughed. Our 2 families are originally allies. At this time, our colleagues are killed, so we should take action. Young Master Chen is righteous. The captain of the guard had bright eyes. I have been hearing about the reputation of Chen Chu, the prince of Starfire City. Only then did I realize that it was extraordinary. Brother Wang, ask the medical staff to take care of Qingshui. Chen Chu spoke to his guard captain. Yes. The captain immediately dispatched team members to release healing skills on Jiang Qing Shui. The captain of Raging Fire City thanked Chen Chu again. The steward was overwhelmed by fright at this time, and he really needed treatment. Captain, it's the crystal nucleus. A team member came to the captain of Raging Fire City holding the monster crystal nucleus. The captain of Raging Fire City didn't talk nonsense. He took it directly and handed it to Chen Chu with both hands. Young Master Chen, this is your trophy. You will kill it with 1 blow, so you should accept it all. Chen Chu nodded. There are only 3 red crystal nuclei, there is no need to be courteous. After, the 2 teams are back on the road again. The slight trembling on Jiang Qingshui's body gradually disappeared, but he kept his head down and remained silent. The guards protecting her saw each other and looked at each other in blank dismay. The always strong and proud manager, the younger sister of the city lord Zhang Fenju. Now he almost buried his head in his chest. This made them a little uncomfortable. But Chen Chu didn't pay attention to her at this time. Instead, he had a happy chat with the captain of the guard in Raging Fire City. Young Master Chen has an excellent physique, and with the body of an ordinary person, he can actually be able to dominate the 6th level. If he can awaken the ability, even if it is an ordinary ability. I am afraid the achievement is immeasurable. Quote, the praise of the captain of the guard was like an invisible bow, shooting into Jiang Qingshui's heart with 1 arrow after another. Obviously, 2 years ago, Chen Chu was just a dandy, a waste like himself. Why is he now a powerhouse at the peak of the 6th order? The whole Zhonghai city has been rumored recently. The ordinary son of Leihu Chen Lei, he has practiced spear skills for 20 years, and now he has become a 6th level powerhouse in 1 fell swoop. Invincible within the 6th rank. Starfire City now has the 8th rank powerhouse Chen Lei, and the 6th rank number 1 Chen Chu. It is a sure thing to develop beyond Agni City. These words are like a knife, cutting Jiang Qingshui's heart every day. She believes that the reason why Starfire City can develop beyond Raging Fire City is because she is an ordinary person. Leihu is an 8th level powerhouse, and his sister is also an 8th level powerhouse. Raging Fire City became a huge city much earlier than Starfire City. Why did Starfire City surpass Raging Fire City? After careful calculation, the difference between the 2 cities was himself and Chen Chu. It must be because Chen Chu is the first in the 6th order. And myself, just an ordinary person who is afraid of even the lowest level of underground beasts. Is my sister's oil bottle. Jiang Qingshui's head dropped lower and lower, and his sleeves were wrinkled with his hands. I just want to help my sister. Why are you an oil bottle? It was the same when I was a child, it is the same now, and it will be the same in the future. Chen Chu on the side was keenly aware that someone was sobbing beside him. He rolled his eyes calmly. Jiang Qing Shui huddled up and buried her head in her chest, sobbing slightly. But I have been suppressing it and not showing it. In other words, I barely discovered it because I had the perceptual skills. Mr. Chen, your pistol skills are simply superb. If you have the opportunity in the future, you must teach your brothers how to use them. After a pleasant conversation along the way, the two of them have become brothers. And these words also caught Jiang Qing Shui's attention. Chen Chu is also an ordinary person. He became so good because of his spear skills. Maybe I can do it myself. Jiang Qing Shui finally discovered Hua Dian. If he could let Chen Chu teach him spear skills, he would never be a drag on his sister again. But let the original dandy teach himself. But for my sister. And he seemed to have looked at himself for the first time when we met. And it seems like he and I are going to get married. With a glimmer of hope, Jiang Qing Shui's crouched body also sat up slightly. The original fear and trembling body gradually calmed down. The guarded heart also began to fall. Master Chen, the manager is here. The running car stopped. The group got out of the car. The end of the underground passage appeared in front of Chen Chu. But before he could take a closer look, there was a sound of breaking ground. Boom! A small beast with a sharp mouth burst out of the ground. The place where it broke the ground was exactly 10 centimeters in front of Jiang Qing Shui. It jumped and came face to face with Jiang Qing Shui. Jiang Qing Shui, who was still thinking about how to learn gun skills from Chen Chu, was stunned. Her eyes were wide with disbelief. This is the fourth time today. Boom! Gunshots rang out, and the little beast had just broken through the ground, and was shot in the head before it even made any move. Chen Chu has a habit of shooting heads. With this shot, the little beast's head exploded, and blood, minced meat, and brains all sprayed onto Jiang Qing Shui's face. Jiang Qing Shui's originally beautiful face was half covered by splattered red blood. He wore silver-rimmed glasses and his hair was stained with blood. It makes it extremely ferocious. She froze in place, her eyes widened, but her pupils shrank into pinholes, leaving a lot of white. She held her breath unconsciously, trembling all over, and veins popped out on her white neck. Boss! Boss! The guards rushed up immediately. The manager had been frightened along the way, and now he encountered something like this again. Chen Chu raised his pistol and looked at Jiang Qing Shui from a distance. He clearly felt that Jiang Qing Shui was on the verge of collapse. She desperately needs a shoulder right now. My future little wife is so pitiful. Chen Chu felt soft. The little beast just now was really none of his business. This time, it was a surprise. Boom! Another loud bang. An extremely ugly underground beast like a meat mountain fell from the soil above. Its terrifying power directly knocked away all the rushing guards. And it landed firmly in front of Jiang Qing Shui. Ugly appearance, bad smell, just 10 centimeters away from Jiang Qing Shui. This underground beast lowered his head, looked at Jiang Qing Shui who was trembling all over, and roared directly. Jiang Qing Shui's body was sprayed with bad breath and green saliva that had persisted for decades. Boom! There was another crisp gunshot. The head of the super ugly underground beast at the peak of the 6th level exploded, spewing out disgusting green liquid. Then with a bang, he fell to the side. After Roshan fell, Jiang Qing Shui's petite body was exposed. Jiang Qing Shui at this time. He was splashed with blood, brains, and green liquid. There is no personal appearance at all. After that ugly mountain of flesh fell from the sky, Jiang Qing Shui collapsed. Now she couldn't hold back anymore. My whole body trembled, tears flowed crazily, and I cried until I had difficulty breathing. She looked at Chen Chu opposite. Tears welled up like a fountain, and he choked up and shouted loudly. Chen Chu, please, teach me how to shoot. I want to live. The corner of Chen Chu's mouth curled up. Jia. This is right, my stupid future little wife. Are you really going to teach me how to shoot? I didn't think about it. Don't you think I'm stupid? Maybe. Don't you blame me for being too timid? It's strange. After cleaning up again, changing his clothes, and resting for a while, Jiang Qing Shui immediately rushed to Chen Chu and asked a bunch of questions. Chen Chu sat on the chair with his head on his hands, not even looking at Jiang Qing Shui. But Jiang Qing Shui kept chirping beside him. She talked more in this moment than she had in the past year. Did you overstimulate her? Chen Chu thought with a frown. Although his face was covered with the blood of the little beast just now, Jiang Qing Shui, who was on the verge of collapse, looked pitiful. But Chen Chu used his superpower to drag the ugly underground beast all the way, so he couldn't give up on his plan, right? Just throw it into the soil layer above the clear water of the river. As for feeling sorry for the beautiful girl, that's what licking dogs like Boiling Sheep, Two-Faced Turtle, Tom, and Black Little Tiger do. Chen Chu's mission is to turn a beautiful girl into his little wife. Jiang Qing Shui is such a cold iceberg. Does licking work? The right way is to crush her arrogance and rebuild it again. And now it seems that the effect is good. How can you teach me how to shoot? Jiang Qing Shui stared at Chen Chu with his big watery eyes and his chin poised. This scene shocked the escort team. What is my supervisor doing? Is that coquettishness? All the team members turned their heads in perfect agreement. He was afraid that Jiang Qing Shui would silence him afterwards. Chen Chu turned his head. Jiang Qing Shui, who had just finished washing, had a slightly red face. And because she cried a lot just now, the tip of her nose was also slightly red. His eyes were watery. Lips are crystal clear. Look further down. Jiang Qing Shui made an X with his hands in front of his chest. Dama. Chen Chu rolled his eyes and turned his head to the other side. Forget it. Go to your sister to propose marriage first, shall we? A warm air wrapped around Chen Chu's ears. Chen Chu looked at Jiang Qing Shui in disbelief. Is this thing so powerful? I didn't think of it at all at first. He looked at the originally proud Jiang Qing Shui with a pleading face. The corner of his mouth curled up. When it comes to shooting, you need to have a steady hand. Jiang Qing Shui immediately sat upright like a primary school student, and even took out the notes he carried with him. Come on, give me a shoulder squeeze now. This. Jiang Qing Shui's face was filled with questions. Don't want to learn. Forget it. Chen Chu closed his eyes and began to rest. A pair of clean, bony hands rested on his shoulders from behind. Start applying gentle pressure. Teacher, how is it? Jiang Qing Shui asked cautiously. Chen Chu nodded casually. So, teacher, please teach me, Jiang Qing Shui said in a low tone. Chen Chu took out an apple out of nowhere and began to chew. Your talent is not good, the average is below, and then below. If you don't work hard, there will be no results. Teacher, I am willing to work hard. Jiang Qing Shui clenched his fist. Okay, kid, you can teach me. Come on, beat your legs. Is teacher, captain, what is the manager doing? Finally, one of the team members couldn't help but speak. The captain smoked out his cigarette and spoke after a long time. Maybe it's cosplay. I just heard the manager say that young Master Chen is going to propose marriage to the city lord. Could it be them? Eyes said. As soon as these words came out, everyone suddenly realized. No wonder. So close, it turned out that they had a good impression of each other a long time ago. Their surprised eyes immediately turned into ambiguity. Chen Xiao's pistol skills made him 6th level invincible, and Lei Huo's strength has also improved by leaps and bounds in the past 2 years. Starfire City is developing extremely rapidly, and it is only a matter of time before it surpasses Raging Fire City. If the manager can get married with young Master Chen, it will be good for Raging Fire City and us. Quote. The captain spoke softly. Chat with Chen Chu along the way. He feels that Chen Chu is a lover. It is really rare to have such a master in the last days. Moreover, the two had just made friends, so it would be convenient for them to come to themselves in the future. Chen Xiao ranks first in the 6th rank, although there is no possibility of going further in the future. But the manager is just an ordinary person. Generally speaking, he is not losing money and making a small profit. Quote. After listening to the captain's analysis, the rest of the team members felt very reasonable. And you see, it's obviously young Master Chen who was chased by the manager. The players looked at each other and smiled. But in Starfire City, the manager obviously didn't have a good face towards Chen Xiao. Yes, neither of them even spoke. 2 team members raised questions. The captain immediately showed a contemptuous look. Do you know an egg? What is the manager? The proud iceberg beauty, she is thin-skinned. There are many people in Xingwo City, and there are as many wives and concubines as young Master Chen. Quote. Now only our cronies are here, so we can naturally let go. The team members showed a look of sudden realization. And the manager has already said that young Master Chen is going to propose marriage to the city lord. Obviously I want to surprise the city lord. Stop your mouths, do you hear me? The team members nodded. The heirs of two giant cities got married. Once the resources are integrated, it is also excellent for them. Teacher, can you be strong? Jiang Qing Shui wiped the sweat from his forehead with his wrist. Chen Chu closed his eyes and nodded slightly. He is using perception abilities to detect the surrounding environment. Here's a shot of the underpass. The Earth-type superhumans and the construction team are measuring which direction to choose to continue advancing. This is a big problem. And Chen Chu was appointed by his father to be the person in charge, so he naturally had to do something. Moreover, his original purpose of coming here was to speed up the construction of the underground passage, and to detect if he could find some good things underground. As for attacking Jiang Qing Shui, it's just a matter of convenience. Even if he doesn't come to the underground passage, he still has a lot of ways. Now this situation is a surprise. Perception continues to spread. Chen Chu carefully observed every inch of the place where the ability could reach. Energy is drained quickly. The range within 10 kilometers centered on himself, and even the 3D model of the thick soil layer were quickly established in Chen Chu's mind. Subsequently, an irregular solid with fluctuating energy appeared in the perception. This is, do more. Chen Chu opened his eyes immediately. The last time I felt this way was star stone. This time, what will it be? With a thought, a piece of brilliant black ore appeared in Chen Chu's hand. Yaoshi. This thing Chen Chu is all too familiar with. After all, the exterior walls of his residence are all made of yaoshi. Yaoshi, B-grade end-time ore. Its main property is heat insulation, and it can also be used well by smashing it and applying it to items. It is a strategic material in the end of the glacier. It is indispensable in almost every city. 3 years ago, my father was still envious of other large cities digging up the shining stones. I never thought that it would be our turn in Starfire City today. A smile appeared on Chen Chu's face. Yaoshi is only a B-level thing. But it is very useful to live in the end of the glacier. Building houses on the ground, transforming doomsday chariots, and insulating and attaching precision instruments are all necessary. After all, the outside temperature in the end of the glacier is too low. Many things are basically useless once they are moved to the ground. Like ordinary guns, if you take it to the ground environment, the parts inside will be frozen, making it unusable. If it is used by a supernatural person, the supernatural energy can be used to wrap the gun. But if ordinary people want to use it, they must be made of brilliant stone like Chen Chu's gun. In addition, vehicles that can run on the ground are also mostly attached with sparkling stones. This is enough to show the importance of yaoshi. If the quantity is large, Starfire City can greatly increase its strength before the Corpse King riots. In the past 6 months between Starfire City and Raging Fire City, they are all collecting everywhere, begging to buy yaoshi. It is to deal with the millions of zombies in the Corpse King City. The Corpse King can be restrained by the siege of Dad's Zhang Fenju. But the million zombies below are very difficult to deal with. If you can get a lot of shining stones, your chances of winning will increase a bit. However, the position where the shining stone vein appeared at the limit of ability detection. The tunnel needs to be made longer to find out the size of the yaoshi vein. It's exactly what I want, and by the way, speed up the progress of the engineering team. Chen Chu immediately got up and left the temporary residence, and walked towards the construction team at the end. Seeing Chen Chu running away, Jiang Qing Shui, who was pounding his legs, trotted after him immediately. The members of the guard looked at each other. It's not. Finally chose to follow. If the two masters want to do business, then they blindfolded. After all, if something happened, they would lose their heads. Young Master Chen, are you here? Zhao Gang, an Earth-type supernatural being in Starfire City, AC level 5th order late stage. The captain of the Underpass construction team this time. Chen Chu gave an and nodded slightly. If you don't work for half a day, what are you doing? Chen Chu asked directly. It's been a long time since the construction team gathered around there, and the work didn't start for a long time. After checking the soil quality after the soil layer, and judging the risk of landslides, and detecting monsters. Zhao Gang looked ashamed. The subordinates are not strong enough, and it may take more time. Chen Chu glanced away. Without the slightest hesitation, he pointed Zhao Gang in a direction. Going forward from here, there is no need to change direction within 10 kilometers. Zhao Gang was stunned. Building underground passages is not an easy task. There are a lot of evaluations every day. Earth-type supernatural powers, psychic supernatural powers, geologists, etc. all join the battle. Now, Chen Chu, an ordinary person, actually pointed in a direction. Although Zhao Gang is Chen Lei's confidant, he knows how his boss spoils his young master. But this is a big deal, no kidding. Not going soon. Chen Chu didn't bother to explain anything. He has detected it with his perception skills, and there is absolutely no problem in this direction, and it can lead to the Yaoshi mine. Seeing Chen Chu's resolute attitude, Zhao Gang immediately said, yes. As Chen Lei's confidant, been asked to be forever loyal to Chen Chu for decades. Even if Chen Chu asked him to go up the mountain of swords now, he would not frown. Teacher, Jiang Qing Shui also chased after him, panting. With unawakened talent, she is now an ordinary person. Teacher, what else do you need to do? Please give me an order, please. After a while, Jiang Qing Shui spoke seriously. Chen Chu said directly. Squeeze your shoulders. Free labor is not in vain. Jiang Qing Shui, who was so proud before, pinched his shoulders now. It's simply not too fun. Yes, teacher. Jiang Qing Shui agreed seriously. Steward, just when she rolled up her sleeves and stretched out her hand to start. Urgent shouting came from behind. An old man with a white beard with exploding muscles rushed over with an angry face. General Manager, Chen Chu from Spark City interfered with the construction team indiscriminately, and even pointed in a random direction for us to move forward. Isn't this just playing house? I disagree. Quote, Professor Wang is a B-level Earth power user in Agni Fire City, with an early stage of the 6th level of strength. Before the end of the world, he was a professor at a geology university. He is also one of the people in charge who came with Jiang Qing Shui to cooperate with the underground passage. Professor Wang looked at Chen Chu with anger in his eyes. What he hates most in his life is other people dictating in his professional field. Before the end of the world, he studied Blue Star for 30 years. 30 years after the end of the world, he awakened his earth power and studied the apocalyptic Blue Star for 30 years. How dare a young man who likes to take wives and concubines come to guide him? Does he know what geology is? He knows nothing. He doesn't understand anything. Let alone Thunder Tiger's son, even if Thunder Tiger himself comes. Manager, you make the decision. Professor Wang set his sights on Jiang Qing Shui. In the past 6 months, Jiang Qing Shui is the general person in charge of the entire engineering team. Moreover, Jiang Qing Shui was famous for his disregard for people and his ruthlessness. Such nonsense, she would definitely not agree. After saying that, Professor Wang glared at Chen Chu again. It seems to be saying again, you kid, go back to your nest and get a wife. Jiang Qing Shui didn't even raise his head. He said directly and coldly. Go dig. After saying that, she put her slender hands on Chen Chu's shoulders and began to exert slight pressure. Professor Wang, who was originally prepared to watch Chen Chu being scolded by Jiang Qing Shui, was stunned on the spot. What, don't you understand? Jiang Qing Shui frowned handsomely. Then he turned to a sweet smile towards Chen Chu. Teacher, is this okay? Chen Chu nodded slightly, more emphasis. This. Professor Wang took several steps back. He was shocked that Jiang Qing Shui actually agreed to such a ridiculous thing. I was even more shocked that the manager, who was arrogant, cold, ruthless, resolute, and always spoke his mind, was actually squeezing the shoulders of that kid from Spark City. God, is this a new model coming again? If people from the Fire City saw this scene, they would definitely be shocked. Professor Wang didn't know how he walked back to the construction site. His students came up and asked, Professor, what's going on? Did the manager scold that boy? Should we continue to detect? Professor Wang grimaced and gritted his teeth. Push forward. What? The student looked confused. The testing process was not even halfway through. How to proceed? Has the professor already found the direction? I said. Push in the direction Chen Chu said. Don't you understand? Professor Wang roared, stood up and left. It's not the direction he chose, nor is it his decision. If something happens, what does it have to do with him? Consider it a lesson to them. As for what if nothing happens? Fart. Totally impossible. If nothing goes wrong, his last name is written backwards. If nothing goes wrong, he will marry his precious granddaughter to that boy who has 18 concubines. 10 days later. Hey, Mr. Chen, which way do you think we are going now? Professor Wang stood beside Chen Chu and nodded. Because of the direction pointed by Chen Chu, the engineering team went extremely smoothly for 10 days and advanced 10 kilometers directly. Nothing happened during this period. It is also very suitable for building underground passages. Simply amazing. Chen Chu was lying on the recliner, enjoying Jiang Qing Shui's shoulder squeeze. He took out a banana from somewhere and started eating it. Let's start here. Chen Chu's supernatural powers began to spread. In the past 10 days, he has collected all the radiant stone mines into the supernatural space. The harvest was good, about 50 tons. After returning to Spark City in 2 days, he would bury it and then have it dug out. The power continues to spread. When spread to 5 kilometers away, he sensed a dangerous aura. It's a cave. Chen Chu immediately closed his eyes and began to build a 3D model in his mind. A monster, 8th level. What is that bowl of liquid? Such a rich supernatural energy fluctuation. Probably S level. It's an S-class extraordinary object. With the continuous advancement of perceptual skills, the 3D model of the entire cave was completely built in Chen Chu's mind. An 8th level monster with 4 legs, 2 horns and long hair guards it. And a bowl of liquid was contained in a hollow like a small bowl in the burrow. The liquid exudes extremely strong power fluctuations. It's actually an S-rank extraordinary. This was the first time he had seen an extraordinary of this level. Although I don't know the specific effect, but the S-level extraordinary is definitely a good thing. If you can get it, whether you use it yourself or give it to your father, you can greatly improve your strength. Gain the upper hand in the subsequent riots in the Corpse King City. Try to see if you can steal it with a special ability. Chen Chu controlled the ability to avoid the 8th level guardian beast with the head of a lion and long horns. Quietly touched the S-class extraordinary. But when the skill touches the bowl of extraordinary, the guardian beast, who had been resting with its eyes closed, suddenly opened its eyes. It looked around, walked around the entire cave again. After finding nothing unusual, he lay down again next to the extraordinary. Chen Chu frowned slightly. He noticed that the strength of this guardian beast was about the mid-8th level. His own overall strength is at the late 8th level. Is fully capable of stealing away. But after stealing it, this 8th level guardian beast will definitely be furious. At that time, the entire underground passage fortification will be destroyed. And a monster in the middle of the 8th rank. Even if he faces the battle head-on, he must go all out. It's still not strong enough. Chen Chu frowned slightly. If he is strong, he will be promoted to the 9th rank. Even 10th order. Then rely on the ability of the space system. He can directly kill this monster silently. Then get the S-level extraordinary item without any effort. All 8 concubines will give birth next month. Do you want to come back then? 8 concubines will give birth next month. Chen Chu will usher in the peak period since the awakening of the system. He believed that the arrival of 8 heirs one after another would push his strength to a new level. At that time, this small 8th level mid-stage guardian beast will definitely be able to solve it easily. But, in doing so, the progress of the engineering team will also be delayed for 1 month. Moreover, the underground beasts run all over the ground, and it is hard to say whether it is still here after a month. If it is far away from the underground passage, it will be troublesome for Chen Chu. Forget it, let's see what the function of this extraordinary is, and then make plans. Chen Chu began to shrink the power into a line. Steal a whole bowl, and the guardian beast will definitely be furious. But steal a drop and see the effect. Not a big problem. The moment when the supernatural ability first came into contact with the extraordinary. Chen Chu's consciousness moved. Pick up. A small drop of dense liquid shining with bronze light appeared in the supernatural space. And the guardian beast in the cave suddenly raised its head. He stretched his nose and sniffed around. After finding nothing, he lay down again. But this time it kept the entire bowl of bronze liquid in its claws. Chen Chu extracted the bronze liquid into the palm of his hand. Looking at the appearance characteristics of the liquid. About the same as mercury. Coagulate but not scattered. Overall solid bronze patina. What's more, tiny little sparks of electricity flashed around the liquid. Electricity made Chen Chu's palm slightly numb. System, you are so powerful, can you tell me what this is? Chen Chu shouted from the bottom of his heart. In case of indecision, add points to the system. Bronze lightning fluid. S-level extraordinary item. After swallowing, it will allow the user to obtain the bronze physical characteristics and carry the thunder attribute enhancement. Note, there is a 1/10,000th probability of swallowing all lightning-type superpowers awaken the bronze thunder body. This entry caught Chen Chu's eyes. It is more suitable for those with lightning abilities. So, Dad, stinky boy, what did you call me here for? Chen Lei came to the end of the underground passage with big strides. Every step you take, the next time they all appeared 50 meters away. A thunderbolt afterimage was left behind. My kid has nothing to do and never let people come to him. Send a letter in a hurry this time. Of course he immediately used his ability and arrived quickly. Father. Chen Chu stood alone at the end of the passage, smiling and waving to his father. What's the matter, brat? Chen Lei stepped forward and came to Chen Chu's side from 100 meters away. Chen Chu smiled. Point to the ground. Father, what do you think this is? Chen Lei looked down suspiciously. I saw a bronze-colored liquid in a small stone bowl, and fine lightning flashed continuously inside the liquid. As an S-level 8th level lightning power user, Chen Lei immediately felt something was wrong with the bowl of bronze liquid. S-level extraordinary. It also has the attribute of lightning. Chen Lei stared, shortness of breath, let alone Chen Chu. Even if it is him, he has been in the last days for more than 30 years. As a famous strongman, I've never seen an S-rank extraordinary before. And it also has the thunder attribute that suits him. And amidst the joy, his keen fighting intuition found an extremely angry and violent breath coming from behind the soil layer. And, there is a strong vibration under my feet. The strength of the comber is not inferior to him. Dad, drink it quickly. Chen Chu lifted the bronze thunder liquid to Chen Lei's mouth. For his own boy, he has great trust. No matter what the situation is now. He opened his mouth wide and swallowed it whole. Boom. There was a loud noise. A monster that was nearly 3 stories high and as huge as a truck broke through the soil and rushed towards it. And behind it is a long irregular passage. The monster that was so angry that it came all the way recklessly, only then did this passage appear. Ha, what? Lightning flickered all over Chen Lei's body. 1 second before the monster broke through the soil, he used his ability to protect Chen Chu from leaving. Underground beast, 8th rank, middle stage. Chen Lei sensed the aura of the tyrannical monster opposite him. The monster saw him too. This thief still has his treasure in the corner of his mouth. Unforgivable. The monster's lantern-sized eyes were red and staring, and white gas was sprayed out of its nose angrily. Chen Lei, who is a fighting madman, is also full of fighting spirit. He activated his skills, quickly put Chen Chu several kilometers away, and then turned back quickly. At this time, the effect of swallowing the bronze lightning liquid just now began to appear. Chen Lei's tall and strong body began to change from yellow to bronze. His lightning ability was released uncontrollably and indiscriminately, and it continued to strengthen. But in the blink of an eye, Chen Lei's original height of 2 meters has grown to 3 meters, and his yellow skin has turned into bronze. There was a sea of white light and thunder all around, and his eyes were shining with blazing light. Like an ancient god of war, the guardian beast on the opposite side saw this scene. Roaring up to the sky angrily, his treasure was digested by this human being. Ha ha ha, bronze god of war. Chen Lei laughed wantonly. My father, I'm about to explode. His muscular, bronze-colored legs kicked back with explosive force. Like a cannonball, the whole person rushed towards the guardian beast with endless thunder. And Chen Chu appeared mysteriously at the place where the old man had just left. He folded his arms and watched the battle in the distance, then passed the family panel and opened the father's attribute panel. Name: Chen Lei. Identity: Patriarch's father. Age: 53. Talent: S-level Thunder System. Potential: SS. Physique: S-level Bronze Mind Body. Strength: the peak of the 8th rank. The strength of the 8th order peak. Looking at Dad's panel, Chen Chu's eyes lit up. Really, my father will not let me down. Even the 1 in 10,000 chance of awakening a special physique was triggered. An S-level physique is something that many people dream of. Facing such an old man, a monster in the middle of the 8th stage, can't resist at all. The old man turned into a bronze patina, carrying thunder prestige and constantly punching. Too fast, too fast. The speed at which the old man swung his fists could not be captured by the naked eye. There was only a sound boom rippling in the air. A 3-meter-high bronze giant beat a long-haired monster the size of a truck like a dead dog. Punch and punch. The originally ferocious monster wailed in the tunnel like a drowning dog. Give me. Die. The bronze muscle of the old man's right arm bulges, and the fist is covered by the incandescent and dazzling thunder light. There was a strong wind and sonic boom, thunder and light flickered, and even the surrounding space was distorted by this force. The 4-legged monster who only cared about howling couldn't dodge at all. Boom. The bronze fist wrapped in lightning came into contact with the monster's huge boulder-like head. Time stands still at this moment. Next second. Boom. There was an explosion. The monster's head exploded in the air. Red, white, green, all over the sky. And its body, like a fired cannonball, slammed into the soil layer hard, stirring up clouds of dust. Ha ha ha, happy. Dad was wrapped in lightning and was above the air. Then, he landed lightly. The surrounding lightning converged into the body, and the bronze skin color gradually changed to the original yellow skin. Ha ha ha, brat, why are you back? Chen Lei is in a good mood. He walked up to Chen Chu, patted him on the shoulder and cursed with a smile. Chen Chu raised the gun in Yang's hand. Isn't this to see if Dad needs help? Chen Lei laughed. He almost forgot. My kid is already able to shoot and kill the existence of the 6th order peak. Your bowl of bronze thunder liquid is the greatest help to Dad. Your father and I are now at the peak of the 8th order strength, and have awakened the S-level physique, becoming the strongest in the entire C province. The corners of Chen Lei's mouth reached to the ears. An S-level extraordinary item of lightning attribute. What a great opportunity this is. It was actually found by my own kid. Now, the entire province of C is invincible. As long as the Corpse King doesn't advance to the 9th rank, I will be able to win the Corpse King city. After that, the entire province of C can be included in the bag. Chen Lei was beaming with joy. You boy is really my lucky star. Promoted to the 8th level, the ability level was promoted to S, and now he has an S-level physique. Chen Lei discovered that it seemed to be because of Chen Chu. When you and I dominate Province C, I will build a big house for you on the ground. Then I will give you hundreds of concubines and give birth to thousands of grandchildren. Quote. At that time, the daughter, granddaughter, and niece of the city owner of the huge city in the entire Province C, you can choose. Although I don't know if people from other giant cities in C Province threw the 7th order blood demon giant tree into the Corpse King city. Caused the restlessness of the Corpse King. But it is unforgivable just because these giant cities cut off the back road of Xingwo City and Raging Fire City. When the Corpse King city is taken down, they must settle accounts with them. In 2 days, I will have someone send the information of the eligible daughters of the city owners in the entire province of C to your home. You kid picks first. If you like it, I will snatch it for you when the time comes. Quote. Seeing the bold look of the old man looking up to the sky and laughing. Chen Chu's mouth twitched, but then I felt it made perfect sense. If those cities dare to take action, they must be prepared to pay the price. And I really need to keep adding new concubines. Dominate the entire province C. Chen Chu curled up into a smile. There are not many human survivors. And it's too spread out. And because of the glacial apocalypse, information is blocked. Therefore, Chen Chu has not had many concubines to choose from. So far, All his concubines were married in Zhonghai City. If you help Dad dominate Province C, at that time, you will not only be able to choose from the entire Province C, but you will even be able to contact surrounding provinces. Thinking about it this way, Chen Chu became even more excited. Then help Dad succeed immediately. Chen Chu showed an innocent smile. Chen Lei, who was in a good mood with his strength greatly increased, also laughed. Just wait until you get married and take concubines. May you have many children and be blessed. The dreams of your mother and father, and the burden of humanity will be left to you. Chen Chu smiled and nodded. After that, Dad used the speed of the thunder power to quickly check the environment. After discovering that there was no danger, then someone was sent to pick up the monster's body. This is a mid-8th level monster, full of good things. You boy have been staying underground recently, don't run around. The zombie king should be about to digest the giant blood demon tree. Recently, a group of zombie legions have begun to come towards Zhonghai City. Before leaving, Chen Lei gave a serious explanation. Now that his strength has been greatly improved, he needs to reformulate his battle plan. Chen Chu agreed wholeheartedly. Then Dad left. Looking at his father's back, Chen Chu rubbed his chin and thought. Dad wants to dominate Province C. It seems that I have to improve my strength as soon as possible. And, the zombie army, let's see it sometime. The situation in the last days is complicated. With Chen Chu's temperament, he naturally wants to be foolproof. For such an important matter as dominating a province, one must prepare with multiple hands. Fortunately, the concubines will give birth soon. Chen Chu was counting the days. Plan to rush back to Spark City before it gets close. The birth of 8 children will be the biggest increase in his strength. By then, he will also become Spark City's biggest trump card. Master Chen, Master Chen, Master Chen, you actually summoned City Master Chen in advance to deal with this 8th level monster, otherwise our engineering team would have been completely wiped out. My admiration for Mr. Chen is like the endless stream of a river. Professor Wang, who is nearly 70 years old, praised Chen Chu wildly. After these days of getting along, he was directly shocked by Chen Chu. The speed of the engineering team has increased more than 10 times. And didn't encounter any surprises. Today, I was able to know the arrival of the 8th level monster in advance, which was amazing. Chen Chu showed a strange expression. Of course God, I was the one who caused it. Mr. Chen, what have I mentioned to you these past few days? Professor Wang rubbed his hands and looked at Chen Chu. I won't teach you. Chen Chu refused directly. Teach Professor Wang how to identify soil layers. Is it possible to give him space powers? Professor Wang is not his son, how can he give it to him? Professor Wang was anxious. He was most fascinated by soil layers in his life. After the end of the world, the entire blue star has changed. The emergence of apocalyptic ores has led to the emergence of various extraordinary powers. His pre-apocalyptic knowledge system was overturned. Now, finally, a genius has appeared in front of me, so I can't miss it. Professor Wang stood there, gritting his teeth, as if he had made an important decision. Mr. Chen, I have a granddaughter who is beautiful and quite talented. As soon as these words came out, Chen Chu took a serious look at Professor Wang for the first time. You old boy, you should have told me earlier. Master Chen, it's cleared. 10 days later, as the last piece of soil collapsed, a bright light appeared in front of everyone. And on the other side of the passage, it is the escort team of Agni City. They have been waiting here for months. This place is the end of the originally planned passage. Since then, Fire City and Spark City, which are 100 kilometers apart, have had a convenient underground passage. Cooperation between the two cities has become closer. The ability to deal with natural disasters and monster sieges has also been greatly increased. It finally got through. Another 10 days have passed. Chen Chu counted the days with his hands. About 3 days later, the first of his 8 pregnant concubines is about to give birth. He needed to get back within 3 days. If it were before, unless Chen Chu uses space powers, it is simply impossible. But now, there are emergency express trains in the underground passages between the two cities. You can rush back to Spark City within 24 hours. Teacher, go out, I will entertain you in the Fire City. Jiang Qing Shui stood beside Chen Chu obediently and said, "In the past 20 days, because of Chen Chu's teachings, her spear skills improved a lot. She believes that as long as she continues to work hard with the teacher and listen to the teacher's words, one day, I can also practice powerful spear skills. Reach the level of a teacher. By the time, she can also be like Chen Chu. Comparing with superpowers with a mortal body, she also will no longer be her sister's drag queen." Regarding Jiang Qing Shui's idea, Chen Chu shrugged. "Nonsense, I have elite spearmanship with system rewards." His understanding of marksmanship has reached a high level. Isn't it normal to spend nearly a month coaching someone and making improvements? And Jiang Qing Shui itself is not bad. It's just that he says she is bad every day, so she really thinks that she is bad. So every time she makes some progress, she gets great encouragement. Naturally, I trust myself more. The follow-up matters of the passage were handed over to Professor Wang and Zhao Gang. Chen Chu followed Jiang Qing Shui and walked towards the Lord's mansion of Liehuo City. This was the first time he came to the residence of the two sisters Zhang Fenju and Jiang Qing Shui. However, turmoil in Zombie City is imminent, and Zhang Fenju is not at the city lord's mansion. Along the way, Jiang Qing Shui kept looking at the documents handed over by the guards. It is difficult to transmit information about the apocalypse of glaciers. She knew very little about the Fire City in the past year. As the general manager of Raging Fire City, now that she is back, she naturally has to grasp the situation quickly. The two of them walked side by side silently. When I walked to the door of a luxurious villa made entirely of shining stone, Jiang Qing Shui closed the documents with a snap. Then he handed it to the guard next to him. "Finish watching?" Chen Chu asked. Jiang Qing Shui shook his head. "No, if you want to entertain the teacher, let's stop reading." Then, she made an inviting gesture to Chen Chu. "Teacher, please." Chen Chu stepped into the villa. As soon as he entered it, he immediately discovered that the temperature in this villa was above zero, and even ordinary people could live freely in it. If he remembers correctly, even a house made entirely of shining stone cannot raise the temperature inside to above zero. "It's fire crystal." Jiang Qing Shui lowered his head and poured water for Chen Chu. "Fire crystal." Chen Chu frowned. "An apocalyptic war. Fire crystals are formed by fire-type superpowers instilling a large amount of superpowers into energy-depleted crystal cores or beast core shells. Can continuously release warmth." Quote, "It turned out to be like this." Chen Chu suddenly realized, the crystal core shell that absorbs energy actually still has this ability. Jiang Qing Shui placed the water in front of Chen Chu. Then he showed a very forced smile. "My sister is an S-level 8th level fire element user, so she is not afraid of the ice apocalypse. But because of me, she spent a lot of materials in exchange for shining stones to build this residence. And a lot of energy is consumed every month to fill the fire crystal to ensure that I can live a normal life." Chen Chu looked at Jiang Qing Shui's smile that was uglier than crying, but still pretending to be free and easy. My heart moved inexplicably. "Teacher, do you think I am a drag on my sister?" Jiang Qing Shui asked with a smile. Chen Chu looked at Jiang Qing Shui and noticed that she lived a very hard life. He opened his mouth without hesitation. Blurted out. "In your case, it's true. You have to make fire crystals every month, so Sister Fenju will be in a lot of trouble." Jiang Qing Shui's forced smile stopped on his face. She stood up. Tears welled up in his eyes. She sobbed. "Teacher, please continue to teach me how to shoot. No matter how hard it is and how hard I work, I will persevere. I don't want to be a burden to my sister anymore." This scene made Chen Chu feel like he was back in the cave that day. That was the first time Jiang Qing Shui broke down and cried in front of outsiders. "Did you irritate this little girl? She used to be a cold iceberg, but now she cries easily. But luckily, I only cried to him. In front of other people, he is still a cold manager." Chen Chu took a sip of water and pretended to be serious. "Your talent is indeed the worst I have ever seen. Ordinary practice probably won't have much effect on you." Jiang Qing Shui's big, reddish eyes looked at Chen Chu pitifully. "Teacher, please make a new training plan for me, please give me orders, please." Chen Chu rolled his eyes and said, "You know yoga, right? Your physical toughness and strength are too poor. From today on, you can take an hour every day to connect. I know. Among the materials found in Agni City before, there are pre-apocalyptic yoga practice DVDs. Jiang Qing Shui was surprised. Although she doesn't know the use of practicing yoga. As long as you can improve your spear skills, as long as you can compete with superpowers as an ordinary person. She is not afraid of any sacrifice. Teacher, I will definitely train well. When the time comes, please personally test the results of my cultivation. Chen Chu showed a teachable smile. Gia. My silly future little wife. Of course I will personally test your cultivation results. I tasted the food cooked by Jiang Qing Shui himself at the Lord's mansion of Agni City. The delicious taste made Chen Chu almost swallow his tongue. But he still made some criticisms. Looking at Jiang Qing Shui's disappointed expression, Chen Chu left one sentence. If it's just this level, it's better not to waste the ingredients. Then, he stood up and left. My concubine is about to give birth and she needs to rush back to Spark City. Before going back, he also planned to explore the zombie army. So naturally it is impossible to stay here for too long. Anyway, now that there is an underground passage, it is very convenient to travel. Jiang Qing Shui also said that she would work hard to practice and deal with the accumulated matters at the same time, and then she would go to Chen Chu to practice. Late at night, the ground. In the pitch-black snow, a person with blue light all over his body flashed in the air. Every time it flashes, this blue figure will appear 10 kilometers away. It is the S+ level space superpower, Chen Chu. We are almost following the zombie army's footsteps. Perceptual expansion. Chen Chu looked into the distance. The first march of the Zombie King City, the zombie army. It's just a good time for him to test his recently increased strength. By the way, explore the bottom of the Corpse King City. Anyway, he is in the space system. If you can't beat him, you'll have to run away. Boom, boom, boom. In the dark night, Chen Chu's whole body is wrapped in blue supernatural energy. Stepping out one foot after another in the air, making a violent sonic boom. And the body stays in midair. This is a skill he has comprehended after obtaining elite physical skills. And with the continuous improvement of physical fitness, and the continuous advancement of abilities, Chen Chu became more and more proficient in using this skill. If the body strength and control are stronger, this skill can be made silent. This skill, Chen Chu named it, Moon Step. Using the movement skills of space powers and moon steps, Chen Chu can stay in midair for a long time. Achieve a flight-like ability. Just in this direction. Chen Chu's perception is released all the time. He has already keenly noticed that 10 kilometers to the west, there are a large group of creatures with stiff movements and dark breaths. Boom. With a sound explosion, Chen Chu disappeared on the spot. 10 kilometers away. The moment Chen Chu teleported here, he entered the supernatural space. Zombies are sensitive to sound. Sukibu's sonic boom will definitely make the zombies riot. And Chen Chu's current space system ability has reached the peak of the 7th order. You can stay in the supernatural space for 10 hours. At the same time, use perception skills to view the external environment. As this, the zombie army. Zombie army. The pitch-black snow moon and fierce blizzard ravaged the earth. A dense, endless army of zombies was slowly advancing in the snowy night. Wherever they passed, all the breath of life disappeared. About 100,000 head. Chen Chu in the supernatural space felt his scalp tingling. Although I have seen millions of zombies in the Corpse King City. But it was the first time for him to observe such a large number of zombies at such a close distance. Gray skin, shriveled body, and gray eyeballs without any emotion, the pupils the size of mung beans are particularly permeating. Among the 100,000 zombie army, ordinary zombies are afraid of elite zombies like lickers, butchers, and crawlers. And the elite zombies are all commanded by the center of the zombie army, a thin zombie wearing armor, carrying a long weapon, and riding a zombie war horse. Chen Chu frowned. That emaciated zombie is the brain of the zombie army, he seems to have wisdom. Zombies born with wisdom are very terrifying. Chen Chu quietly appeared in the air. This time, he didn't use the moon step, but let his body fall freely. He holds out his hand. Boom. The boundless stone bullets wrapped in supernatural powers shot at the intelligent zombies. Roar. The intelligent zombie reached out to catch the bullet, and then roared angrily at Chen Chu's position. The 100,000 zombie army immediately turned around and attacked Chen Chu. Flash. Seeing hundreds of extremely fast pursuers attacking at the same time, Chen Chu immediately entered the supernatural space. This zombie army is not easy to deal with. According to his temptation, the strength is average, but hard to kill. Even if Chen Chu shot all the 100-kilogram Infinity Stone bullets, he would not be able to kill 1/10 of them. And if all the abilities erupted and he rushed to fight, he would be exhausted, and he would not be able to kill 100,000 zombies. This is also the reason why Dad and the others chose to use terrain restraint. To deal with this kind of creature that is difficult to kill, has a large number, and can infect humans. Perhaps, natural disasters are the most suitable way of death for them. After 2 blue lights flicker in the dark night, Chen Chu appeared 20 kilometers away. He looked up at the snow-covered mountains in front of him, with a mysterious smile on his lips. Space-type abilities can instantly move dead objects into the ability space. The mountain is also a dead thing, right? With a flash of blue light. The next moment, Dashan disappeared. 10,000 meters above the zombie army. Chen Chu's whole body was wrapped in thick supernatural energy. Even he couldn't bear the 10,000-meter altitude in the last days of the glacier. Natural disasters fall. The corner of Chen Chu's mouth curled up. Then, an irregular mountain appeared beside him, and start to fall freely. Sparks keep appearing on the surface of the mountain. After about tens of seconds, Chen Chu heard a loud noise from below. Flashing blue light, he appeared at the place where the mountain fell. Looking at the remaining 1/5 zombies, he exaggerated. Oh, the resistance of the blizzard is not easy to calculate. The meteorite landing point is a bit off. I'm sorry to make you suffer. The surviving zombies screamed and fled crazily. A moment later, at the same time, 5 sparkling meteorites fell from the sky, impacting the place and creating deep craters. The zombie army that frightened the entire Zhanghai city was destroyed. At the same time, 200 kilometers away from the place where the zombies were killed, in Spark City, Chen Chu appears here. For powerful space power users, a distance of hundreds of kilometers is just a few breaths of time. 100,000 zombies will produce about 10,000 zombie crystal cores, which is pretty good. Looking at the zombie crystal nuclei of various colors piled up like a hill in the supernatural space, Chen Chu was in a good mood. These crystal nuclei are enough for him to use to the 10th level. And he also discovered a way to completely restrain millions of zombies. This is sure. After dispersing the superpower that enveloped his whole body, Chen Chu teleported and appeared a few hundred meters outside his home. This area was specially designated for him by his father. No one will come, so there is no need to worry about being discovered. In total, I haven't seen my wives and concubines for more than 20 days, and the pregnant concubines are about to give birth one after another. I'm really looking forward to it. Chen Chu walked toward home with brisk steps. Husband. Seeing Chen Chu's sudden return, Yi Miao put down the book in her hand with a surprised expression. Chen Chu hugged her. I miss you. I will rush back as soon as the passage is completed. Where are the others? Yi Miao's eyes were full of happiness. The 8 sisters are about to give birth and have been sent to the medical department for care today. The other sisters are in the entertainment hall and gym on the 3rd basement floor. I'll call them. Chen Chu grabbed her. No, just you. Chen Chu and his wife Yi Miao spent 2 days in a long-lost world. Then he rushed to the medical room to take care of the 8 concubines who were about to give birth. Within the next half-month, the concubines are giving birth one after another. Chen Chu also welcomed his 8 new children. Name, Chen Shen. Identity, 7th son. Age, 0 years old. Talent, B-level poisonous mist. Potential, B. Name, Chen Wu. Identity, Bazi. Age, 0 years old. Talent, B+ level martial arts master. Potential, B+. Name, Chen Pang. Identity, Juzi. Age, 0 years old. Talent, B level doubling technique. Potential, B. Name, Chen Lai. Identity, 10th son. Age, 0 years old. Talent, A level fire system. Potential, A. Name, Chen Jin. Identity, 11th son. Age, 0 years old. Talent, B level wind system. Potential B. Name Chen Lei. Identity 5th daughter. Age 0 years old. Talent B+, grade solar steel. Potential B+. Name Chen Si. Identity 6th daughter. Age 0 years old. Talent B level spike surge. Potential B. Name Chen Ling. Identity 7th daughter. Age 0 years old. Talent A level wind of revival. Potential A. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.